What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Arch coming back at you with another episode of House Immortalum. The crew is reduced in size, but not in strength, as they continue to grow in power and prestige within the family. One thing remains the same: the toil and war outside has grown only more intense as the searches of Dick continue. He is still gone from the family after the events of the last episode, where it was revealed that Ori, the head of the Divination Corps, was making a bid for power, and some, including the noble Malachi, our player, opposes. Also, in preceding episodes, the leader of the house, Ambrosia, is nearing the end of her reign. That's why the bid for powers are beginning. And this episode picks up at a ceremony welcoming Ambrosia into the Archons, meaning that she has passed on from this life. So the scene begins with all of our players seated in the grand meeting chamber of the family, where important speeches and ceremonies are held. On the podium is Malachi is up there because he's family, as well as the other Eisensteins and the leadership of the family, Ambrosia's closest aides, Pandal Smart, Oriki, the leaders of the clerics and the other corps. At the podium giving a speech right now is the head cleric, Ambrosia's closest friend. She's also nearing the end of her days. And she speaks, or her speech ends as she says, "We must never forget what gifts our sister left us with, and we must continue to fight to achieve the goals that she sought. For while some of us may not understand their intention, she was a true servant of our family." And she turns with tears in her eyes and goes and sits down, leaving the floor to anybody else who wishes to speak. She was the last speaker. So we'll jump in with our players there. We'll skip over you, Malachi, because I know you may want to jump in. So let's surprise it. Let's switch it up, and we'll say Vila, the Dragonborn, you have returned from the Reckoning. We'll time skip that here in a second, but describe how you're posted up. You just arrived back, like literally today. Like you haven't had time to change or anything. So you're in your traveling clothes, whatever those may be.
It's just the same tattered old crap I'm always.
Oh, yeah, you're a druid, my bad. Yeah. So yeah, just describe where you're posted up in the ceremony hall, and what you're doing and what your reaction is to this news that the leader has joined the Archons.
Well, when I got back to the city, it's pretty easy to figure out what the talk of the town was, the death of Ambrosia. And so I headed over there to where the ceremony was going on, roll into the building. And nowhere in there do I think about the fact that I've been out in the wilderness for who the hell knows how long. And I'm just wearing, my usual sort of patchwork robe. It's just a monastery robe, but at this point it's real old and it's mended up with whatever bit of material I had lying around. So like here and there is a bit of squirrel skin, maybe. But I head to where the ceremony is, and I just kind of stand towards the back, stay out of it, just see what's going on. I didn't really know Ambrosia that much, so the news of her dying is, it's sad because, she was a big deal around there. But I'm more so looking for Malachi to see where he is and what might have gone on since I've been gone with her passing. And I knew he was proud. I knew that people were gunning for the throne and that he was getting pushed into it. So I'm in the back, kind of looking for him. And I see him up at the front and just kind of watch the ceremony, staying quiet, filthy, like literally just dust coming off of me. And I don't care, but anybody who's standing around me probably can smell me.
One of the gnomes, you recognize them to be like the altar boys, basically. They shuffle you over to one side of the room, which you might not notice, but it's like the stinky corner, It's very pungent over there, but you fit in. It's all good. So yeah, you're over there, and with that, we'll cut over to Malachi, and I said you were up on the thing because you're family and important and stuff. So I assumed that much. Hopefully that's cool. Otherwise, hit us up, man. What are you doing? You're muted, brother. I'm sorry. That's my bad. I know I might have forced that on you, but
am I muted?
Yep, you're good now.
Man, you put me on a pedestal, man. What put me on a pedestal? Put me on a pedestal.
Well, no, you haven't had to step up to the pedestal yet, but you have that option.
Yeah, he will. So Malachi's up there. He's wearing some resplendent ass fucking finery. At this point, gone are the like overly worn, finery of 10 years ago's fashion. He's now in high fashion, and he's wearing grievement colors, so like dark blacks and really dark midnight blues, and he's got this staff, this just gnarly fucking staff. It's all real dark wood that kind of curls around itself. He's only like 3 feet tall, so the staff itself is probably only about 4 feet tall. But at the head of it, it's got the sigil of House fucking Christ. What the hell is the name of my family? Of the Eisenstein, of the Eisenstein's crest up there. And he'll step up and he'll wrap his staff on the ground, and he'll begin to belt out a bit of a speech. Now, I'm no fucking speech writer or politician, so I'll just kind of give you the gist because I don't know,
That's fair. That's straight, man.
He'll talk about how how well Ambrosia has served her house and her family, as have the Eisensteins since time immemorial. Really emphasizing Eisenstein, like the honor of the house and the family and the service and all that stuff, and he'll end with a bit exalting her and reminding everyone that she has not truly left. She only serves in a different way. However, like partway through the speech, you would notice Vila, like this kind of like grungy, like really like filthy robed individual kind of like wiggle his way up to you. And then you would hear from beside of you, so my boy, how went your reckoning? And you turn to see Malachi there beside of you, and you kind of look up from underneath this hood. He's got like makeup on his face. It's a really bad disguise, but he's all stinky, so no one notices, and he's obviously up on the podium, so no one's noticing, and he gives you a little wink.
And with that, dude, that was so fucking kick-ass, dude. I love that introduction of your spell. Okay, with that, we're going to cut to the reckoning. Okay, so, Vila, you were out with Dick on a training. You were learning just crazy, crazy things historically. You would think they were crazy. You don't understand the level of craziness because you didn't know what was known as history. But like the shit that you're learning is some secret shit. It's like you're getting cued in to the real legit deal from Dick. And but after a few months of traveling across the land through the mountain passes and through some very dense forests, you made it to a desert, and he was preparing to take you across the desert with him when Pandlesmart popped up and told you that it was time for your reckoning. So you're taking. He teleports you to a tower. Basically, you're just standing on a tower in the sky, kind of like Gandalf.
Mm.
You know, when he got trapped by Saruman or whatever.
Oh yeah.
So he teleports you up there, and he says, "It's time for your reckoning." I'm going to just sum this up too. It's time for your reckoning. The task is you have to find the city of the dead, something like that. Sorry. And you have 3 days, and if you can find it, you'll pass. And he sets you loose in the city. So, and then he teleports you off the tower, as long as you agree, or you can deny that you want to take the test. So, did you take the test?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so he teleports you off the tower into the city, not like home or whatever. And then he leaves you alone. So the first part of your reckoning montage that we're going to do here, the question is, how did you find your way to the secret spot? Like, did you talk to people? Did you search it out? Did you use animals? Like, how did you find your way to the spot you were looking for?
I definitely did not talk to people. I probably got to the city and found the most crowded spot, and then just you're talking like a big city, right? Like there's like a.
Oh, I'm sorry. Let me describe the city for you, brother. Okay, so the city you've been taken to is New Figton. There's 4 gigantic quadrants. All of them are sort of inspired by the classical elements, and in the center of the quadrants is a giant tree tower city of light and gold, and like it's like an elven city. All the marble bricks. It's a library. The oldest library in town in the world is there. And then surrounded by like these slums, these 4 quarters of kind of slummy shit.
All right. So I get to the city, and I'm definitely not talking to anybody. I'm probably just kind of looking around at this new place I'm in. But what I'm really doing is I'm just sort of, as like the people are walking, I'm just sort of flowing with them. I'm not really going in any particular direction. I'm not really looking for any particular thing yet. Sort of just seeing where all the people are going. And I kind of wander through the city. And I can see the structure in the middle. I can almost kind of feel it. I mean, it's a giant tree. And I make my way towards that. Generally just like not in any particular hurry or not directly towards it. I just sort of follow the flow of people as it goes towards that, and eventually I get to it and I find a little bit of the tree part of it that's kind of sticking out of the ground, like some of the root at the near the base. And I sit down on it and I kind of nestle in and I just meditate for a while and just think about this new place I'm in, the way everybody who's in it is going about, just trying to get a feel for the balance of this place, so I can kind of see where I fit in it.
Okay, so the place you're looking for is the City of Light, and as you sit under the tree stump on the edge of Old Figton, where the library is, the beautiful towers and the old trees, you notice the flow, the canals. Everything is connected by canals. They have canals for streets instead of streets here. So you notice the flow of this water, and the way it flows, it all sort of leads to this this turnaround, kind of like in France there, where they have that big archway and there's that fancy turnaround thing there. Yeah. It's like that, but it's a canal. And as you're sitting there in the tree, you see a leaf, and it falls in front of you, but right behind it in your vision is the turnaround, and in the middle of it is a waterfall with like a giant hole. Um, and you just have the idea that you should go down that hole. So the next scene is going to be you in a lake, viewing a gigantic Minas Tirith. You fall down the hole at the turnaround, and you fall and you fall and you fall and you land in a lake. But lit by the hole that you fell through is a city that looks like Minas Tirith, but it's underneath the city that you were in, and you know, like, it's the city of light because it's bathed in this light from above. And but there's like crude fortifications all around it, obviously not part of the city, built by something else. So how are you going to deal with the fortifications? That's the second part of your montage. You see the city of light, but it seems to be blockaded by some force. So if you just say the way that you would go about getting around this obstacle or facing this obstacle, then describe it how you want, and then I'll help you add the flavor down.
Oh no, I would just turn into a cave lizard. I would just hunker down into a shadow and turn into a small cave lizard, like a gecko, one of those like stone skin geckos, you know, and just trundle my way along the wall and see what's making these barricades.
Yeah, man. So cool. So this montage scene is you scampering over the water as a little lizard, and then across the way, past the wall, manned by goblins and bugbears, and, you know, not bugbears. Do bugbears hang out with goblins? You know, the goblins, the goblin kin, man. It's a
bugbears are goblins. They're the big ones that take command. Yeah.
Exactly. Okay. So it's like a full goblin civilization up in this bitch. But some of them notice you and they try to chase you for food, but you scamper, you know, through cracks or up a wall or something, get away from them, and they decide that it's not worth eating you because you're too quick. So you make it past that, and you make your way basically into. I'm just going to keep calling it Minas Tirith because that's basically how it is. It has the levels that kind of cut back, up and up and up.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to say you make your way through that in any form that you wish. No big deal. And then the final cut of the montage is you come to the top, like where the dude jumped off the fucking thing when he was on fire.
Yeah.
And up there is, it's not a tree. There's like a beautiful stone mausoleum with a door, like an ornate door, but the door stands out, dude. It looks alien, basically. Like, in a world of magic and wonders, this thing is on another level. It looks supernatural. It's crazy, and it's golden, and it has weird inscriptions all over it. It looks super crazy legit. So that's your final montage scene, man. How do you get in the door? Or what do you do about the mausoleum is obviously the final test. So how do you go about that?
I study it for a little while and eventually decide one way or another, I have to have that door open. So I just take my giant ass dragon bone quarterstaff and just walk up to it, and I just kind of poke it progressively harder until it does something. As in, like, I poke it a little bit, and if it doesn't do anything, I'm just gonna keep poking it, and then eventually just turn into hitting it, and then I'll just wail on it for a while and see if anything like that opens it.
Okay, so your first strikes. So the final montage is you approaching it in wonder, you know, and you're finally decide you want to poke at it with your stick. You're poking at it at first, nothing happens. You poke it a little bit harder, you know, with a weird look on your face, and nothing really happens. And you kind of like, you look frustrated, like, God damn it, you fucking give it a big hit. And as soon as you strike it, the whole cavern shakes with a roar like you've never heard in your life. Like it sounds like the one you heard in the cavern below the Land of Ashes,
Uh,
not as awful and bad and terrifying. You recognize it immediately because you've been hanging out with Dick. It's like the roar of a dragon. You never heard like such a kick-ass roar. Like wasn't evil and scary like the other one. It's like legit. You can't really understand what it said. You don't speak straight dragon, but it was a big ass roar. It shook it, and then boom, like the sound was so loud your vision whites out, and you're in a room, and you learn the secrets of the reckoning and become a made man.
cool.
So yeah, man, you passed your test.
Oh yeah.
We'll get to the details of that when it becomes necessary. But now we're going to cut back to the chapel or wherever this. I guess it's not truly a chapel. The meeting place and
the Grand Hall, baby, the Grand fucking
Hall. The second Malachi has asked you, how was the reckoning?
I kind of chuckle a bit at the fact that he's standing right here in his goofy disguise.
Oh, and you can speak back to him in the secret language now. Now you know the secret language of the Made Men.
Neat. The gravity of exactly what he's doing is definitely lost on me, though. Like that he's up there, like posing as and that he's up there as a politician, doing his resplendent speech, and then that he's also chilling in the crowd. I just think it's kind of funny. So I was kind of laughing, like pat him on the back, and I was like, it was very confusing. And I kind of shake my head because like it would be hard for him to put something like gaining metaphysical knowledge like that into words. So he would just kind of like in a good way. Like it was confusing. Like, but he's real happy about that. Like it was good.
It is a proper mind fuck, isn't it, my boy?
So, what are you playing at here, Malachi? What are you doing here dressed up? And
I was at work in my private laboratory while my friend took care of the business, and he'll kind of yawn. But then I caught wind that you had reemerged, so I thought it prudent to come and greet you here, of course.
Well, what are you working on?
Oh, wizardly things. And he'll give you another wink. Like, almost like he's got a wry smile on his face, but the wink itself is totally condescending.
Yeah.
And as he says that, Pandlesmart comes up beside you, Malachi. You didn't like he slipped up straight like a ninja. You know how he does, and he slips you a note. He doesn't say a fucking word. He just slips you the note, and like just as quick he's gone. And this is like the common thing. You sort of taken over the leadership of him. Although you distrusted him in a little bit, he proved his value to you, right?
Oh yeah, no, we did the mind meld and learned about Pandlesmart.
Okay, so yeah, he's your dog now, and he passes you this secret note and goes back to doing his thing. Speaking of your work,
I taught him a thing or two about how to be a proper fucking spy as well in my time. Yeah, I like it's almost imperceivable the taking of the note. It happens so quick, just and then he'll kind of he'll bring it up he'll palm it and take a look. Kind of holding it close to his chest,
and it just says the meeting for tonight is a go, and so you know that your scheduled meeting tonight. Everybody's lined up to be there.
Mm-hmm. All right, and with a flicker of fire, the note will be incinerated.
Oh, and give me a roll for your speech. Any type of charisma or charm or leadership or whatever you might have that is appropriate that you think.
Oh yeah, persuasion, baby.
And we'll see how well that goes over with the family members here assembled.
I'm pretty good at this. I think I got +7. So I've also got to do my portent. And this is my Similaricum portent because he has everything I have. Oh my god, it's so good. There's a natural 1. That's awesome. A 16 and a 10. Okay, so I think I think he will use. So goddamn, I got to do 2 different portents now. All right, so I should roll mine too, and I have 3, so we'll do portent there, and then we'll do sim port. I'm just gonna write stuff down on my card real quick so that I can keep it. So he's gonna use a 16 here for a total of 23 on his speech. Hey, beat you by 1.
Yeah, man, you're lucky too. That's Ori's role for her speech that she's about to give when you're done with your conversation. I'm sorry to interrupt you with that note and everything. It just seemed like a good time to have that happen.
No, that's fine. As a matter of fact, while Ori's going to make her speech, he's going to blow his 1 on her.
So you switch that her 22 to a 1?
Yeah, a critical failure. He's just there, and it's got to be like I don't know, because it's foresight, right? So he just
I like how you did that, man, because that plays really well to what the content of her speech was going to be. So I'll have it for the opposite of what you wanted. Totally, it's really good.
I'm sorry. What just happened?
So I have an ability that allows me to switch out any roll that someone makes within 30 feet of me, or my own rolls, for a roll that I have made prior. And so I gave myself, without even having to roll, a really good speech, and gave her a critically failing speech.
Yeah, it's a diviner wizard thing.
That's pretty crazy. That's a pretty intense power.
Now I'm gonna roll my own.
He's used them up now, so it's like
look at that. That's on the Similaricum itself. Now I have my own.
Well, so you're doubled up now because you're high level, but usually that's how it works. So that's cool, man. Her speech, she goes up there and she gives like a real hawkish speech, really saying, the leadership of the family. This is her speech to Ambrosia at Ambrosia's funeral, and she's like, the leadership of the family has been great. We have led the world with our golem might. People respect us because of our strength. But then she goes on this whole thing about how we have to maintain our strength and really, really come at and change the direction of the war. And she basically makes a bid to try to say that she's the fucking one who can lead y'all in the war with her like divinations and everything. But she comes off just sounding like a fucking bloodthirsty, power mad, crazy person because you gave her that.
Yeah. Yeah, so, let's throw a little meat in there too, because remember, like, it's about seeing the future. So let's say it was like I had planted a heckler, like I knew what her speech was going to be like, and I had planted a heckler in the crowd that right at the right moment said something that pissed her off and sent her on this crazy tangent. Yeah, bitches.
Nice.
All right.
Yeah, and I think right as the heckler starts, disguised Malachi and Vila would kind of like burn out, like mission accomplished, like walking away from the explosions, like yeah, we got that now.
Yeah, for sure. Leave him to deal with his. Although as Malachi, as Similaricum, Malachi fucking takes his seat and we're walking out, right? He's gonna under his breath, he's gonna fucking begin to incant a little bit, and then he'll wrap his staff once, and it'll disappear out of his hand and appear in raggedy robed Malachi's hand, and just in stride he'll be walking with it.
Love it. I love it, dude. Yeah, so it's like you just sent it back home because you were done. Oh, speaking of that staff, I want you to describe for the viewers what is the sigil of House Immortalum. Now, you have Liberty here to make it look whatever, the Eisensteins, the symbol of the Eisensteins. I don't think anybody said what it was, so.
It was like the constellation of Orion or something, right?
Did you say that's what it was? I think it just.
That's what it was. This was
the
Jen's thing, but she now is
Wasn't there another component to it now that you mention it?
Well, I can't remember exactly, but let's just do like what is the Orion? Is that like an archer or something?
Yeah, it's an archer.
All right, so we'll do like the kneeling archer or whatever, and it's like an actual like depiction of one, but it has gems in the spots where the stars would be in the constellation, right? So it's an actual like sculpture of an archer, but then it's got these big clockwork wings that come up in kind of like a pose upwards, like how you know like what you would see on a mark, you know, that's that kind of like wing going up the side, but these are mechanical in nature.
Cool. So they move when you use the functions of the staff. I like that. Fucking what type of metal and what type of gems?
So the gems would probably be diamonds, just because they're supposed to represent stars, and stars are have a hell of a glitter. And then the metal would be fucking probably platinum, I imagine, just because he's fucking dank as fuck now. And then the staff itself is like mahogany that has been polished and lacquered up to a like almost mirror-like luster.
Nice.
Sounds good, man. Okay, so I'll give you liberties on what the content of that meeting is, or I have if you don't want to fuck with it, I can throw it at you. And you guys have a while until that starts, so we can time skip to that, or if there's anything y'all want to do, you got it, man.
I would just want to run back to wherever I'm living at the time and drop whatever traveling stuff I've been carrying off. But otherwise, I'm probably just gonna start following Malachi around again. It's my my usual day to day. Now that I'm back.
Yeah, if you know, Malachi would like scroll down an address for you, and you know, because he's in a new place now. He doesn't stay at the Red Lotus anymore. Now he stays in his family's apartments in the palace, and then he would retire there, whereby he would await his Simulacrum's return, and get his proper gear back on. His Simulacrum teleported his staff to him, but now he needs to actually get his robes and whatnot. And he will have him tend to some chores around. I mean, he's just as smart as me, so he's basically like we're like twins who work at the same goals. And but yeah, he is
just always say what he's going to do, and we'll have him do it. And hopefully, if it takes a roll, you'll pass it, and that'll be straight.
Yeah. Let me see here, actually. Yeah, that's it. So I'll just go back to my apartments. I imagine that I have a wait staff and stuff. So when you show up, I'm sure that they will like ring the bell or whatever, and in my workshop, and then I could come out and meet you.
Okay, so Vila, you head back to your you're going to the forest or the temple?
The temple.
Okay, so you head back to the temple. It's been 2 years, so your room's a little dusty. They haven't been cleaning it as often, but it's not like 2 years of dust. They've cleaned it a few times. But all your shit is the same. They haven't really messed with anything. Not that you have a lot of stuff, so you're good to go. You get set up however you want, and you can do whatever else you want to do, or head over to Malachi.
Well, now that I'm made, what does that mean? How does that change my daily city life?
You people respect you now instead of just telling you to leave, and every now and then somebody who is leadership in the family, or maybe another made man, will try to get you to do something, but it's usually like hard and awesome.
Gotcha. Do I get access to any of them like armories or anything, or is it just like a title?
No, man, you have access to a lot more stuff. What exactly were you looking for?
I wasn't really looking for anything in particular. I'm just kind of wondering what my station includes now.
Well, basically, when there's like meetings where shit is decided, you get to go now.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's basically the gist of it. But that entails a certain bit of, you get access to some better stuff. People will give you better prices, that type of thing.
Cool.
Plus, you know the secrets of the family now, and people will tell you stuff.
That's definitely what that sounds good. All right. Well, I'm gonna head back to my room and sit and ponder that very thought for a moment. But then I'm gonna change into some nicer monkly robes. I'm Dragonborn, right? So like in 2 years, like I'm like a legit adult now. I'm like in my mid-20s in human development. So I'm not quite as childish, not quite as so what I'm looking for. After traveling with Dick for a bit, he was we're out in the wilderness. There's not really a whole lot of room for playing around. But that includes not being a dumbass and showing up to one of these meetings all covered in grime and like a fucking, a leather fucking shirt made of squirrel skin. So
are you going to let the monk girls clean you, or are you going to handle that yourself?
Nah, I press digitate. Shabam.
Oh, all right. So you don't even fool with them. I didn't know you could press the digitation as a fucking druid.
Oh, wait. I can't. You're right.
Yeah, you got to get somebody to wash your ass, man. You tripping. You can't press the digitation.
Nah, you know what? I'm not gonna let them wash me so much.
You are made. You could just find somebody and tell them to do that for you.
Nah, I just put on some clean clothes and I go find some sand somewhere. There's got to be like a sand pit, and I give it the old lizard sand scrub.
You're gonna go roll around in the sand.
Not roll around in it. Like you can scrub your skin with sand,
No.
but as a lizard,
you're rolling around in it.
Yeah, that works too. But like. Actually, yeah, that works just fine.
I'm sorry, dog. You can rub it on yourself. I'm just fucking with you, man.
He's taking a sand bath.
Is there somewhere sandy enough to be deep enough for like a 7-foot tall lizard to roll around in? That was the only thing that was stopping me from like straight up taking like a sand dive, like burrowing into the sand and then just like poking my lizard head out the top, tongue flicking, and just kind of like shuffling around a bit.
I don't see any reason why y'all wouldn't have that here, man. This is like a magical city, man. Y'all have everything.
Well, that is exactly what I do. Get a good sand scrub, and then put on some nice kind of white and yellow temple-y robes. Much cleaner than I might have worn before wandering about.
Definitely like scare off some kids who are like playing in the sand. You kind of like, but you get your bath on and get it cleaned up, and they are pretending not to watch you.
I'm definitely ignoring them. I don't care about human kids.
Yeah, they were gnome kids, so they're even smaller than humans.
Yeah, I'm not really concerned about them.
Anyways, that's all good, man. You get it cleaned up, you get it shined up. You're looking forward as hell. You got your nice robes on, and you're gonna head to the meeting now, or anything else you got to get taken care of?
No, I don't think. Oh wait, what's her name? Frenna. What's she up to? I want to go say hello to my old master.
You're gonna go. Okay, you're gonna go try to find Frenay. Okay, so you ask around the forest creatures and everybody. You can talk to animals. Just chilly. That's chill, right? Like you don't have to expend spell slots for that.
I mean, it's like a level 1 spell. I don't mind expending a few slots.
Well, I just assumed that would be your first source of information. I don't think you go ask people about Frenay. Like,
no, I would either just go like looking for, try to sniff her out, or ask some animals to like point me in her direction.
Yeah, so she's not in her usual home spot. You don't smell her around, or you can't pick up her scent. A strong scent of her in any of the spots that you check out. So you ask the creatures, and they say that she's been out for a while as well. Not quite as long as you were gone, but almost.
Do they know where she went? She's just been off doing things.
Well, they're animals, man. I mean, no, they don't know.
Oh, okay, yeah, valid. All right, then yeah, once that's done, I'll head over to Malachi and see if he's ready to roll into that meeting. Now that I'm nice and clean, though, since it's like one of the first time I've been clean, I feel I should note that like I'm a bronze dragon descendant, right? So like in the sun and the light, I'm kind of shiny. So like I'm, looking fresh.
Love it. Nice. Okay, so you're looking buff and legit right now.
Oh yeah, like the most stately I've ever actually looked. Like I might actually be something respectable. Except for the fact that like I'm kind of buck-toothed and underbitten and like still have like dry scale crap from just not actually taking very good care of myself. But like for now, for this moment, fresh.
The only other Dragonborn anybody here knows is Fernay, and she's albino. So like you probably look super badass to everybody around here. That's why the kids were like, "Oh, holy shit!" Because yeah, man, you shine in comparison to the other people. Dragonborns are pretty fucking rare. That's legit, man. You make your way over to Malachi's family spot, and Malachi, let's hear what you wanted to do in the intervening time. If you had any particular tasks you wanted to put yourself or your simulacrum to, and then if you had any ideas for what the meeting would be about, hit me up. Otherwise, I got you.
Yeah, no, I want to see what you got planned. I'm interested. I've kind of, but yeah, no, he head on into his study and through his little secret passageway, because gots to have that, and back into his private lab where he would be working on stuff until the bell rang. I think when you get there, right? So it's up in the palace. It's all way up high in the underground, this city that's built in kind of tiers. You kind of like go close to the it'd be like on the same level as where you went to go see Ambrosia in the actual like government halls, but it would be in a different district, I imagine, but still way up high there. And you'd come to the door and it'd be this big ass fucking door, like 10 feet, 20 feet tall door and shit, right? Knock on that son of a bitch. It'd be like a little knocker that was like comically too small for the door size. And you hit that bad boy up, fucking it would go and it would open up, and there'd be this tall, like bald on top, older human gentleman there wearing like tails, and with like it's like a little napkin or towel like draped over his arms, and like white gloves on, and his nose like pointy and held high in the air, and he would greet you there. That'd be my butler there, Jeeves, and he would like go over to a little like magical device and dingle dongle it, and that shit would go through to my study. Now you'd be in a big foyer, marble, high ceilings, a lot of gilded shit in here. There's like portraits all along the wall of all of the descendants of the Eisenstein family, and it's just fucking like there's a lot of them, man. It's this ton of them. All these old, craggly faced gnomes going back to hundreds and thousands of years. A few moments later, Bernard would show up, the Raven, and he would land on your shoulder. He would say, "Come, come," and then he would fly away, and you would follow him up a grand, swirling staircase and down a couple hallways, and then into a large study that's got the smell of books, old books and leather. Big overstuffed leather-bound, furniture all around, claw-footed, deep dark wood and polished leather. A big fireplace with a roaring fire in it. A veranda off to the side with just drapes kind of opened up that you could just see. If you were to go out there on the balcony, you could just see below the lights of the city, even from within the study itself. And Bernard would go and he would land on a candlestick off to the side, and it would turn. Classic secret lever style. And one of the massive bookshelves is just overstuffed with manuscripts. Would out of the way, and there would be a little stairway down. Again, the bird would chime, "Come, come," and you'd fly on down there. Stairs would lead down like 2 or 3 flights, and then it would open up into kind of like a comparatively dimly lit laboratory. It's just full of all kinds of magical shit. Fuck crystal balls, weird, brass machinery all over the place. And you would see back there, like at the back, like 2 Malachis wearing like mad scientist lab coats, both of them, and like goggles on their head, on their eyes, right? Back in the back of this room, one's up on a step ladder, the other's at the base, and they're both working on this what looks like a large cylindrical tank. And they're like murmuring and mumbling and arguing with each other about this tank and whatever its purpose might be. And then Bernard would caw rather loudly and shrilly, and the Malachi that was down at the bottom, he would turn and he would see you there, and he would like pull his big like rubber gloves off or whatever kind of material we use in fantasy games. Take off his goggles. He said, "Oh, my boy, good, you are here. Wonderful. We look at this," and he'd pull his pocket watch out of his pocket and say, "It's nearly time. I must make ready. Come now. How has your reception been now that you're a made man?" As he walks with you back up the staircase.
I mean, it doesn't really seem much different. And he wouldn't, if people were paying him more attention but not actually talking directly to him, he would not notice. So he's, he doesn't really know how to answer that question. Like, it's fine. It's fine. And I wonder what I'm supposed to do with it, I guess.
I imagine in time you will see, my boy. He would chuckle. He would say, as you finish the last flight of stairs back up into the study, he would say, "Wait here a few moments, won't you? I must change. Make ready."
I'm gonna poke around your new house once you wander off. Like, if you're gone more than a minute or 2, I won't be where you left me. I won't go far. But like, I'll have started kind of like looking at all this new stuff you have.
Yeah, you wander from room to room, and there's studies, there's like a fucking room with like a botany lab set up in it. There's all kinds of weird stuff. But every time every room you go into, like a few moments after you get distracted by all the wondrous things around you, would see in the corner of your eye there'd be Bernard there watching you. About maybe 10 minutes later, Malachi would return all prim and proper in his morning attire, and he would wrap his staff on the ground. And
I just walk back up to you, like not even thinking about that. You just told me to like wait there. I'm just like, "Oh, okay, we're leaving."
Wonderful, my boy. And with a fucking wrap of his staff, boop, we teleport.
Whoa.
All right, boom shakalaka. I want y'all both to Ben first, then Nick, describe something about the meeting room that y'all pop up in, and then we'll start the meeting.
So this is a meeting of like all the high ups of the house?
No, this is just Malachi's homies, his political core, the people who are trying to get his political mission accomplished. But really, I'm talking about like the place where y'all are meeting. You can say what the people are doing if you want, but it's like whatever kind of servants, and then like there's a couple halflings, a human, and a
No, I was just wondering like how big the room might be based on how many people.
Take your flavor, man. That's what if you want this to describe the size and what the room looks like, take that as your thing, man.
Man, it's a big room. It's a big ass domed room, but it's not a circular dome. It's sort of triangular. Like it goes down to 3 corners. You know what I mean?
It's like a pyramid.
Yeah, but it's curved. So it's sort of curved pyramid, I guess you would just say.
Okay, I got flavor for that. Do you is that what you like about it? That's your thing.
It's made. It has a lot of a lot of marble, a lot of black marble though, like black marble and then like white marble trims here and there. But it's all very shiny, as if it like never even needs dusting. You know what I mean?
Okay, and you describe. I love it, man. And what is the thing that you pick about it? Nick?
Oh, Malachi! Oh man, the entire room, including the geometry that my good boy Vila here had described, is actually all part of a massive magical ritual of proof against divination. The entire room is built specifically to avoid all possible spycraft.
Okay.
So there's like glyphs glimmering along the edges of the walls and up the ribs of the curved pyramid and all that nastiness.
This is a good time for me to ask you to give us all a reminder. What did you end up doing with the Eye of the God? Didn't you encounter that last game?
Nah, man, I didn't. I mean, if I've gotten access, I did join the Divination Corps during the break in a bid to gain access to it. If I've managed to gain access to it, my understanding is that Vila is still, or wait, I got you. Ori is still in charge of the Divination Corps unless she relinquished her post.
She still is.
So
okay, I wasn't sure if that was canon or not. I didn't know if that was off camera or not. Okay, so it's all good now. So here's we're appreciate you. We're good on that. The place you guys are at is a nut, a beautiful nut carved from marble, but it's been magically enchanted through transmutation, abjuration spells to be an actual large room.
Okay.
So that's where you've all teleported to. Pandal Smart has brought the rest of the crew in.
All right.
So is that cool?
Yeah, it sounds good.
That's an easy way to make it harder to detect if it's tiny.
Nice big round table in the middle.
Yeah.
Chiseled out of the same stone.
That's why it has that crazy top to it, little spun out pointy top. Because it's the shape of a nut.
An acorn.
Yeah. That's flavor, man. I love that. Okay, so at the meeting, you see the two bards, the Borns, the little halfling. They're your homies. The person that you sort of chosen as your like vice president, I guess. Lethodus Redstream. The human warlock. He's super. He's like the Professor McGonagall of this spot. He's very formal. You can count on him. You know what I'm saying?
Nice.
He's like that. Real boss. Always armored. Always on point. So,
yeah, he was my military liaison fella.
Yeah, he's
sure.
Super legit. And then there's the half-orc Crowlash.
I had Urdul Flitmace, I believe. The
the old cleric lady?
Yeah, the cleric.
That's the one who was giving the speech. She's not here right now.
That's fine.
And
I guess I wanted to. Her whole purpose was to, because she was slightly paranoid, so I've been poisoning her against Ori and using her to bring the theology into my court. That was her whole purpose. So that's okay. She's not
that
here.
Also played into how you made that one happen on her speech today. Is that
Mhm.
Ertl's speech kind of played into how you outmaneuvered Ori there?
Mhm.
So she's more of a she doesn't come to the meeting. She's more of a secret influence, like whether or
Mhm.
not she's part of the crew knowingly or not is unknown to people, that type of thing.
Gotcha.
But Crow, so the human, shit, I never remember this guy's name. Redstream, I guess he probably goes by Leth. Leth approaches you, and Crowlash like basically runs up to Vila. You're super shiny, and Crowlash looks at you and he says, "By the gods, you're not dead. You didn't even lose an arm." And he like smacks your shoulder way harder than he meant to. Give me a strength check to not get moved by his big ass punch, basically.
Strength?
Yeah.
Can it be a strength save?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Okay, yeah. So you just barely move just the tiniest bit. You don't get knocked to your feet. You don't have to stagger or anything. And he's still smiling. Oh, and he's kind of laughing at you, and his loud laughing and talking sort of covers up what Leth says to Malachi as he leans in close and he says, Ephraim has declined to attend the meeting once again. He kind of gives you this frown, like he knows this is some bullshit.
Malachi will.
That's Ambrosia's brother. That's your cousin.
Yes. Malachi will wave a dismissal hand and he'll say, "It is nothing. We will carry on." A lot of, and you'd see too, Vila, a lot of the like mirth and wackiness that you're accustomed to seeing out of Malachi would be suspiciously absent during this meeting here. Take on much more of a stoic and kind of a serious demeanor.
So since you've gotten here, everybody sort of settles down after greeting Vila. Crow goes and sits down, and Leth goes and sits at the seat, at your right hand. But he doesn't sit down. He stands and he's waiting for you to go and get your seat before he starts the meeting.
All right, yeah. Malachi will walk up with all pomp and circumstance. He'll stand before his chair and he'll rap his staff twice against the ground, and then he will take his seat.
So Leth will nod to you in case you want to say anything to open the meeting. He's gonna defer to you, obviously.
Oh, I imagine that's his job to open the meeting.
Okay, yeah. So he says he jumps right into it. Nobody here likes to fuck around, and he says we've had a great victory with Ori's speech today at the ceremony, and he nods to you. The word on the street is already turning in our favor, but we still have much work to do. Her ground network is still entrenched. And then he motions to the Borns, and they start giving their reports on their efforts to do that part of the job. That's sort of what they do.
Mm-hmm.
After that, Leth asks you what if you have any new plans, because they just pulled off the Ori plan to fuck her over at this meeting. So what your next step is.
Yeah, sure. He doesn't really have a. I mean, so like the way he's been
He doesn't put you on blast like that. He asks if you want to deliver any new orders to the crew now that they've given you like their reports.
Well, I'll kind of the things that he has had going are there is a propaganda war against Ori. I'm guessing that's what the halflings are doing. He's waging a spycraft war against Ori, and he is been working towards whining, dining, and grooming, and the other big players. But I mean that's all business as usual. He'll simply ask the those attending any word of Fernay or Dick.
Everybody looks to Vila, and this is pretty strange, dude. You may have been to a meeting like this once before you left, but nobody talked to you or gave you any respect.
It takes me a second to realize that they're actually waiting for me to answer. Not like too long. I kind of am looking around like, oh, I last left him, or I left Dick to at the desert of, whatever the desert's name is. But I left him at that desert, and he was going to be crossing it. He's continuing his search for whatever it was he was searching for. But whatever the name of that desert is, I just tell him that's where I last saw him.
Oh, it's the Endless Red. That's what they call it.
Then yeah, I went
the Red Sea, but it's like dirt. So
I left him at the edge of the Endless Red.
Now, is that on the other continent?
No, that's totally on your continent, but it's on the western side.
So it's quite far. We're on the eastern side, right?
You guys are dead in. You're like north center.
Okay.
But you're deep into the mountains, like deep.
Well, Malachi is still kind of. He's got his fingers steeped, and he's still waiting for the other half of his question to be answered.
Fernay?
Yeah.
She's nowhere to be found in the city. I would assume y'all would know more about her.
Crow looks at you and he says, "You didn't see her at the forest?"
No. Should I have?
Well, she should be back soon. And he looks over at Pandlesmart, and Pandlesmart shrugs and he says, "She wasn't where I was sent to get her."
Yeah. Malachi.
I guess
Malachi will kind of sit back in his chair and rub his beard for a moment. He'll say, "That is rather troubling."
it was known she's been gone for a while, right? That's not Is she supposed to be back already?
Well, she's on basically Malachi and Pandlesmart and Crow all know that she's on a mission for y'all, trying to gain the support of some of the other families, one of the other families in specific. But she was supposed to be back by now, but she's not so overdue that it's a problem. It's just that, it's about time for her to be back.
Gotcha.
Malachi is going to squint a little bit, kind of purse his lips a little bit, and then he's going to reach into his robes. He's going to retrieve a small little pillow, and he's going to set it on the table in front of him. And then he's going to reach into another sack, and he's going to retrieve a small crystal ball. It'd probably be in his hands. It'd probably be about the size of a softball, but it's really, to us, it'd probably be the size of a large jawbreaker. And he's going to sit that on top of the little velvet pillow, and he's going to scry her right then and there.
As soon as you pull out the pillow, the Borns, they just silently, like servants, they just pop up and begin to make ambiance like too strong. They light some candles with like some magic colored flames, and like the male dude is like playing a kick-ass tune that's real soft and quiet, you could just barely hear it, but it like invokes images and inspiration into your brain. They're like all in on that, man. They give you help for that.
All right. So the spell will scry her unless she tries to resist it.
Oh, you don't have to do no rolls? Oh, I guess
No.
it's your homie. Will she know who it is? Because she would resist unless she knows who it is.
Let's take a look.
Right? I mean, if it was unknown people trying to cast on you, you're always resisting when you're on.
Oh, it's not level.
On the job, you know?
Just a second here. Scry. You can see him. Target must. Oh, okay. So they must make a. So So she will make a wisdom save. Has to. But she will. I imagine I will, for this very fucking purpose, will have gathered what I need to make it as easy as possible for me to scry her. Yes.
Oh yeah, dude. There's like tiers of easiness. You have the maximum.
Yeah. All right.
He probably has an item that allows you to link up with her. So it'd
be like a scale or a little trimming of one of her talons, which would come out and be a part of so her save will be made at -15 against my DC of 18. And if she succeeds, then I am unsuccessful. And it's a wisdom. Wisdom save -15, DC 18. Yeah. I don't.
Okay, so for the audience, she got a -1. She definitely failed that. You're scrying her, man. And she's at a feast, a banquet. Can everybody see it, or can just you see it?
It's just me. So as I like go into this trance, kind of losing myself with the music, using that instead of the soba to propel my consciousness out there. You would just see like my eyes would just be they look like a reflective of a star field. And then I would be it actually brings into existence a tiny invisible sensor, essentially, which anyone who can see invisibility on the other side would be able to detect. And I could see all around her, see and hear all around her.
And she sensed that occurred?
Not unless she can see that it's there.
Okay, so do you get any benefit on telling what's going on? Can you hear, or can you just see?
I can. Okay, sorry. Hold on a second.
No, it's cool.
Visual sensor 10 feet of the target. See and hear as if I were there.
Okay.
And it moves with her.
It's a fucking party. It's loud as hell. It's I mean, you know how gnomes can party, right? But like this party is pretty next level, dude. Like you almost feel like it kind of might put your gnome parties to shame. Like this is a top tier party going on right now, and like you could see shit going down. You can't even really hear anything because everything is going down so hard. There's like multiple jams going on. It's Crazy. And if you want to make an insight onto Fernay, then you can try to tell her state. But she's just kind of chilling. You can tell she's kind of trying to poker face it up on first glance.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, what may as well.
All right, so
May as well. Nah, I don't feel like I'm gonna roll for it though. I think I'll just take a 15.
Okay, that's cool, man. Yeah, so she just looks very uncomfortable. Not in a like a dangerous way, just in a like have you like a kid at prom who like is a social outcast and like goes and sits like at the side and like never moves a muscle because like they're so socially awkward. It's kind of like
Do
that.
I recognize where she is? Like, is there house banners on the wall, or what race of peoples are dancing?
It's like all halflings, and you get a pretty good idea that it is the I think it's House Manus.
That's where I sent her. Yes, House Manus.
Yeah,
I'm imagining. Okay,
yeah.
All right. You guys would see like Malachi like brings his hands up on either side, like he's like oming, like like some kind of Buddhist meditation, and then you see him mouth the words silently. If you could read lips, you'd be able to hear it, but she will hear this in her mind as I cast sending. You are expected. Is all well? And she can respond in 25 words or less.
Does she have to speak out loud?
No, it's telepathic.
Okay, so she starts to speak out loud, like she says, "Bleh," and then she stops herself as like you can see the halfling like sitting right next to her, sort of like looks over expectantly. But she she stops herself, and you can see her like visibly flinch, and she says, "They won't stop partying. I still haven't had the meeting."
Wonderful. Okay. I mean, I imagine she'd be familiar with this magic. It's a one-time, one-way message, right? Like I send one, she can send one back. So she would know that, I imagine.
So you don't get to say anything back. It's just one thing. Okay.
Yeah, unless I cast again.
No. Well, then she would say, "I'll force the meeting tonight and return if I can. If not, I'll return without having done the meeting." Just so that you know, like her plan, in case you want to use it. She knows that's cool, and then you can cast again if you want to change the plan. So that gives you proper.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Control. She has an objective. If they just intend to try to, that's a disrespectful thing. If they're gonna, that means that they're just toying with us. If they're gonna just continue doing that madness. So yeah, if she can push the meeting.
You've been to House Manus, man. You know that depending on when she got there, she may just have not gotten past like the party yet. Literally, their introducing party takes like a fucking week. You've been through it. It's probably easier on you than it is for her, because she. That's normal. That house. That's just their thing.
All right. Well, as it becomes evident that there's no foul play involved here, Malachi's eyes, with a swirl of a starfield, would condense back down into his ice blue irises and blackened pupils, and he would look across as he breaks off the chant, and he would say, with a bit of a chuckle, he would say, "Seems she's having a." A bit of a time with what was their name again? House
Manus.
Of House Manus. She will return in good time. To other business. Are there any pressing issues that I should be made aware of?
So Pandle Smart gives you the the look and nod, like secret conversation type thing, look that tells you there is one thing, but it's pretty sensitive. And if you want to, like, he'll bring it up now if you say something else, but otherwise he'll tell you later, type of thing.
I'll just give him a nod.
Okay. And so that means bring it up, right?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay. So when you give him the go ahead, he says, the matter of your father's resurrection.
Oh.
Yes, of course.
He
The
says,
arrangements
I know.
were made.
He looks at you, and this is the main point of contention amongst y'all, between the two of you right now. Like, he's basically taken Ambrosia's place, and the look that he's the only person that gives you that look, and he gives it to you right now. He says, I know we've been through this before, but there's a reason Ambrosia did not complete the spell as she promised. I still don't
Speak
think
your mind, man.
your father is gone, and he's under the control of one of the dark forces. If we bring him back, we'll be imperiled. Ambrosia knew the truth. You have to accept it. But if you wish to continue, the ritual is prepared and the moon is right. We can do it tonight.
I'm gonna take the measure of the facial expressions of the other people at this small council here.
Everybody looks pretty fucking dour at this, man. Some like the Borns are like, their mouths are as agape as they would ever get at this table, because they have pretty fucking good manners for the most part. But like, they're obviously like hella shocked and surprised that this is even going down. Like, they haven't heard about this. Leth has a poker face that's legit, and Crow just looks like, having heard this information, he just looks like he's a warrior, man. He hears it, he absorbs it, and that's what is up. So that's straight. He doesn't seem to be bothered by it.
So during my conversations with my dead dad, like, I mean, how much of this villainy have I personally been witness to?
None. Not one bit. Nothing. All your communications with him have been like your same old dad, and like he's excited and he wants to come back to help, be a better father to you. He feels bad for not being there.
Mm-hmm. All right. I will look across and I will say Levi will be a great boon to our ascension. With him on our side, who could choose Ori over myself? I say the risk is well worth it. We will make preparations. See to it that the ritual is handled discreetly and within the confines of the magical asylum. There we go. So that's where we hold the crazy people that have fucking had their brains burned out by magic over the years. They're all held within cells that are perpetual force cages. So we're gonna resurrect him inside of a perpetual force cage, just in case. If you're good with that.
Handlesmart just nods, but his face says, "Fucking dude, that's a bad idea." And Crow is like, "That's straight." Leth nods as well, like, you're the boss. The Borns are looking even more shocked now. Like, they're kind of getting pale, and they're looking really surprised. And they're looking at Violet too, like.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of looking at you like, I'm not gonna stop you because you're my buddy, but like, I'm not talking you into this or offering to really help. Like, this is your situation. This is your creating undead. I'm not going to help you create undead.
No. This ain't undead. We're going to do a resurrection.
Yeah, it's a true resurrection. He'll come back as a gnome, alive. But when
we're not trying to do. We're not doing necromancy here. Well, we are doing necromancy here. But.
Let me ask a question then about like the society. Like, is this something that happens commonly, or is this like
no way, dude?
This room are looking at, they're looking like pretty surprised at it, but like, how often does it really happen?
Well, I mean, for royal families and shit, like for an Eisenstein, it's not unheard of.
I imagine we had to. Didn't we have to create some kind of like diplomatic fucking bridge in order to get this done? Because isn't True Resurrection one of the other house's magics?
Yeah, exactly. Ambrosia had to use up a lot of political international political capital to get that done. Because basically everybody knows Levi was in the hands of the fucking enemy.
But then she balked. Yeah. Well, we're gonna have him contained. We ain't just gonna have him fucking running around free until he proves himself. Of course, he'll understand. His cell will be nice. It'll be all dank as fuck. I'll have it furnished and shit. It'll be like like a proper pimped out spot down in the sub basement of the old arcane asylum. You won't have to hear the voices of all the screaming lunatics down the hall. Yeah, our little secret.
And with that, Leth looks at you expectantly to see if there's any other business for the meeting.
Yeah, I'll kind of like gather up my robes and I'll stand. I'll pick up my staff and I'll say if there's nothing more, and I'll wait a moment expectantly.
Rose steps up. Curls, I mean. Rose is someone else. Curls, the girl born, a little halfling. She leans in on the table. She's on her feet because she was up earlier helping you with your vision thing, and she says, "I'm sorry. I know he sure." And she looks at Tiny, who's like her brother. And she says, "But if Ambrosia thought he was gonna be a risk to the family, maybe we should not. Maybe we should hold off until after the election at least. Things are still at risk here." And she looks at everybody and like there's no insight needed. Everybody can tell she's pretty uncomfortable speaking here, and she's surprised. She looks surprised that like no one is saying this. Like she's looking at Viola. Like, fuck, guys.
I kind of sit back a bit, and I'm like, well, what did Ambrosia? What was her evidence? And I look at Pendle Smart, like after asking the question, like
he frowns like the most legit frown a man can frown. he can't look, like you could tell he's trying really hard not to look at Malachi, because this is probably why Malachi doesn't give a fuck about the info. And he says it's from the Divination Corps,
which I'm a part of, and I should know where that came from if I've got a fucking spy network in there. So what do I know about this intelligence?
Well, personally, I mean, I would say the fact that Ambrosia believed it is kind of all you need to know. It seems legit.
Well, Ambrosia also got us into bed with that fucking lich.
Well,
some 8 years ago, and as far as I'm concerned, has led us down this path to war.
Candlesmart would have explained that shit to you, and like that was a maneuver, like an international maneuver. Like she was kind of maneuvered into that, and it was like played as best as she could. Like it's not like she reached out to them and was like, "Hey, why don't y'all come hang out at the fucking spot?" You know.
Okay.
But yeah, no, you're right. That was a jack.
Maybe,
Malachi is.
I mean, so I'm sorry. Maybe I missed this, but He's under the control of what now? Like what was the risk of bringing him back?
Remember that giant monster in the cave in the Land of Ashes?
Yeah.
That is presumably what's in charge of him.
Does that thing have a name? That I've missed? What are we calling it? And I'm asking this of the council, like of this meeting of people, since it was already mentioned once. Like, what are we calling that thing?
We simply refer to him as the Shadow under the mountain.
Well, if there is a chance that that's what's in control of your father, then why is there a way to do the spell outside of the city? Maybe somewhere in isolation where it can be, and I kind of cough, like reversed if necessary.
Pandlesmart says, I can move this cell to and from the location of required for the casting of the spell with our, he nods to you, Malachi, with our magic. You know, the family's secret teleportation circles. You can do that with it.
Perhaps a demiplane, then?
I will leave the final destination of the cell in your... Up to you. We have to travel to... Insert house name here. To perform the spell.
So the envoy did not arrive.
They require equipment. Apparently. I don't know what that could be. That's what they said. You have to go to Caledon and meet with... oh shit, that's not right. I'm sorry. You have to go to Antor and meet with House Vitae. I don't know how to say it. I'm not good at Latin.
It's your house, you silly man.
Well, no,
you
I mean
can say it however you want.
It's a word in Latin, so I don't know how to properly pronounce it. Vitae.
Is it the other group's house?
No, their House Ophia. They're the knowledge house. House Vita is the house of life. House life.
Ah, yes. I will like thoughtfully, like I'll be stroking my chin with one hand, and like as I had begun to stand up, like after when conversation broke back out, he had slowly lowered himself back into his chair, and Malachi will look up and he'll say, he has been dead many years now. I suppose a few more weeks won't matter much. We will postpone the resurrection until after the election. At which point we will revisit the topic. And as he says that, he'll shoot a forceful look in Pendlesmart's direction.
Oh, Pendlesmart.
So, speaking of election, how far off is it? It's got to be imminent, right? Like you can't have.
Indeed, imminent. It is day after tomorrow.
Okay. How goes our final preparations? And he'll turn and kind of look towards the. I guess they already gave their reports, huh? So I guess
let's says the last estimates put us neck and neck. Perhaps we are behind by 2 points or so.
I imagine after today's blunders in front of the court, we will see.
He perks up and he smiles at you, and trying to change the dour mood in the room. He says, "Yes, perhaps we will be 2 points ahead after today."
We will remember our platform, tradition, power, and wisdom that guides this house. We will attack her on this newfound warmongering attitude she showed today. I believe she has finally revealed herself to the people. We'll pick up there and run with that. In 2 days' time, I believe we will have this done. My schedule, and I'll turn to look to Pendlesmart, who I imagine is also in charge of that.
He says, you have 2 speeches tomorrow and 1 before the election. Of course, and he nods, you may use your simulacrum.
He says, no. This is too important to rely on him.
Yes, the first is to the religious order, and the second speech is to representatives of the great families. And the final speech is to the family at large, House Immortalum.
Very well. And I'll turn to the others and I'll say to the 2 halflings and I'll say, see to it that the slander is ripe as possible, and I'll give them a wink. Remember, attack her on the warmongering and reinforce our level-headed platform. That is all. And I will stand and I'll rap my staff twice and I'll say dismissed.
And Curls is like, you know how somebody does when they want to talk to you and they're like trying not to look at you and step to you, but you can tell they're like waiting to start to talk to you? She's doing that, but like only for like a moment as everybody gets up and starts to leave. As soon as Tiny starts to walk towards the door, she like goes and walks away with him. She like looks back once at you.
I stop her.
Okay. She'll push Tiny, saying, I'll catch up. And he looks at her confused, like, oh, whatever. He pulls out his flute and starts to jam as he walks away.
What is it, my dear? Speak your mind.
She says, well, I've been hearing a lot of rumors. They didn't make any sense, but... And she looks around the room and she says, I don't know, I feel like Ori... And then she looks kind of abashed, like she starts to blush and like she just realized something stupid. I just think Ori might have known about your father coming back tonight. There was rumors of something big tonight from her people. I didn't believe it because they were saying that they were going to get an Eisenstein on their side.
Well, seems we are yet again 1 step ahead of our enemy, are we not? And I'll give her like a little bit of a friendly wink there. The end is a little bit of the old Malachi resurfaces for a moment.
As soon as you wink, she like gives you a big ol' hug. Like she's not exactly young, but like she acts pretty young. And she gives you like a big hug, and she says, I'm so glad that you made the right decision. And she lets you go, really embarrassed, realizing like, because it was like just a spur of the moment thing. And she says, Ambrosia would be proud of you, as she like blushes, and then she like doesn't even wait. She like turns and runs off, like all embarrassed.
In response to that, I say, that's what I'm afraid of. And almost under my breath a little bit, just as she's going. I'll turn around at that moment to see what Vila is up to.
I had kind of said goodbye to my friends there and thanked them for their congratulations. I assumed the orc guy, based on his greeting, that he and I had kind of started some kind of friendship. At least like a coworker friendship, so to speak, before even getting made. So I said peace out to them, then I was waiting behind you. So when you turn around, I'm just kind of like, like smiling a bit and like, you have a new friend. And I'm talking about the halfling.
Yes.
Anyways, so what are you going to do about this election? What are you going to do about those?
Well, it's going to be a busy couple of days, my friend. We will have to be campaigning, I imagine, the entirety of the time. You are welcome as the newest member to our household to join me, of course. Perhaps you could get a taste for the politics. And he'll kind of roll his eyes at that, like almost jabbing fun at himself. I imagine it will be a boring couple of days, my boy. And he'll kind of like pat you on your knee because that's about as high as he can reach.
And are you guys going to leave the show? Or are you staying in the meeting room?
I am going to leave, but as Pendle Smart is like, getting ready to go, I'm going to signal him over.
So I'm
going to say
ceremonially kind of like a butler, even though he's way more important than a butler. He sort of stands by the door waiting for everybody to leave. To get out, you sort of turn the doorknob and then you are teleported out. So you don't have to you have to get casted in, but you can get out.
Oh yeah, I'm burnt. I can't cast again, so I better be able to get out of here.
Yeah, exactly. There's a way out. But he's sort of chilling over there waiting for everybody to go. He won't. If you nod for him to leave, he'll leave. But he waits for you to be the last one or whatever. But if you he'll come over and he'll say yes.
I'll say I am concerned that Fernay will not be able to complete her task in due time. Perhaps your aid will expedite the situation.
He frowns again and he says,
"Sorry about that.
Need to take over the negotiations."
I imagine there's some particular reason why we sent Fernay. Like she has to be particularly well suited to the actual negotiation itself.
No, she was available. That's why, because
she was available.
She was the least missed person who could go and sit there for a week and party.
Okay.
The Candlestick is your fairy. Without him, you can't teleport people around unless you want to fucking do it, which I doubt you do.
No, I don't really want.
Wait, I'm sorry. What did I miss, y'all? I'm sorry.
I'm just talking to Pendle Smart and telling him that I am concerned that Fernay is not going to be able to maintain the timeline that we need to maintain. And I'm about to send him in to aid her in. So my answer to him is no. I need you here. Simply, I would simply wish for you to attempt to expedite the process. See to it that she gains her audience by this evening, if you can.
This evening.
And then return. Indeed.
He looks startled at that's pretty soon, but he says he looks down a little bit and you can see he's thinking, kind of bites his lip, and he says, "Very well, I will make it happen."
Say, I'll say, take whatever resources you need to smooth things along.
When you say that, he loosens up a little bit, like, okay, cool, because usually he operates so secretly, he has to sort of do everything by his damn self. But if you give him leave to take some shit, I can handle this. It's cool.
I can't really help you with your campaign. I don't really still learning all these politics, but I can help you, Pendle Smart, if you need it. Because in my mind, now that I'm like one of these main people, it kind of occurred to me that like maybe one of these people can teach me how to teleport, and that'd be awesome. Like Miles always thought that was pretty cool. Like just you're here now, you're there. Like that doesn't work with his set of like rules and laws, you know. So he's just really intrigued by it, and it's kind of occurred to him now maybe he can do that. So he kind of wants to follow Pendle Smart for a minute. So he's offering his help.
Handle Smart will look to Malachi as if he's checking for if that's okay or whatever.
I'll give him a nod. The boy could use some more worldly knowledge, I imagine.
Both of you roll me a perception or an insight.
Okay, let me see which one I like better. Neither are particularly good. Let's just roll a d20 and see what happens. I'm actually gonna have to roll so 14 for me.
You know what? I want to use one of my luckies here because I'm tired of low rolls in my life. That's slightly better.
17, nice.
Not
bad. Oh, fucking Pendle Smart with the fucking iron fucking chin. This
he got a negative too because y'all know him well. He's actually pretty good at this. So he looks straight, man. He nods and he says, "I'm very well. I will meet you." And he tells you a place, the main gate where y'all always leave from. He says, "I will meet you there." And he tells you a time, like in 30, 45 minutes or something. He says, "I must prepare or make preparations," and he'll look to Malachi to be dismissed.
Yeah, I'll just nod to him.
And he's gone. He goes and turns the knob.
I turn to Malachi, then I kind of whisper to him, like, do you think, like Malachi, do you think someone can show me how to teleport now that I'm a made guy?
He'll kind of chuckle. He'll kind of chuckle a little bit, and the mirth is definitely starting to seep back into him now that the entire small council has left, and it's only you and I that remain. He says, "My boy, such magics are quite advanced. It is perhaps possible that you could be equipped with a device to do so, but I doubt your discipline would afford you the ability to do such a magic on your own accord."
I kind of shrug, like, yeah, I kind of figured, but it would still be cool to see how it's done. And Pendle Smart's been doing it for a long time, right?
Indeed, and he's quite the little get around, isn't he?
Awesome. I'm laughing at you at this point. Like I knew it was kind of a dumb thing to ask, and that's why I kind of whispered it. But like the idea of it, like just being someone in power now, he's starting to toy with the idea as he was sitting at this meeting because he didn't really understand a lot of it, so he was naturally not paying much attention.
Yeah,
but
Malachi will.
He's looking at it from like real small term. Like, wait, does that mean I have money now? Wait. Does that mean I can teleport now? Wait, like,
Malachi will let out a bit of a belly laugh, which will bounce all around this fucking strange chamber, echoing ad infinitum. He'll say, "Come, my boy, don't get ahead of yourself now," and he'll turn the knob on the door.
And as you appear back in the room where the nut rests, I don't know where that is. You can tell me, but a girl, her name is Sarah Glitterglow. She's a young gnome. part of the divination. She runs up, spastic, like, "Oh, I found you! Thank goodness!" And she's like out of breath. I need Master Eisenstein. Dick's in trouble.
Yes. Oh. Speak, girl.
I saw it in a vision. I was asleep, and he needs our help. I was trying to find you or Pandelsmart. We gotta go to Dick.
Am I still with you? Like, is this like right outside the chamber?
Yeah, you just popped out, and all you heard was, "We gotta go to Dick. He needs our help."
I'm like in this woman's face, like right up in her,
real no girl.
where?
She's like 18, 19 years old, man. Maybe.
I don't give a shit. Like, I'm towering over her head, snaking down. I'm just like, where? Like, I am right up in her perception. Like, I'm gonna go save my traveling buddy. I already forgot that I told Pendlesmart that I would meet him. Like, I ain't even worried about that now. I'm like jumping in front of Malachi, like.
She says it was
stupid about it.
It was like a building, a large building, and it was like a desert and a grassland. I don't know. It was sandy. But
would I have known where he was going, or would he have just been like, "All right, later"?
Yeah, you know exactly where. Well, you don't know the spot, but you know like what he was going to do.
What was he going to do?
To meet that guy you had the vision of, to try to get the thing to stop the shadow under the mountain.
Right. Well, I turned to you, Malachi, and I'm kind of like got a look on my face, like a sort of stern but kind of pleading, like, "Come on, like, can we go? Like, let's go."
He'll look up at you, like, and he's got to look rather sharply up. He'll say, just seeing the look on your face, he'll say, "Of course, my boy. We will afford Pendlesmart with a change of plans immediately. Prepare yourself for the dangers ahead, dangers unknown."
I immediately am like,
and
before you're even done with that sentence, I've already kind of jumped over this chick, and I'm like running back to go get my staff.
Yeah. I will tell Sarah, I'll say, "Walk with me, girl." And I will begin to walk towards my apartments and just pump her for every last detail that she has about what she saw.
So she's telling you she saw Dick. He was fighting shadows with daggers. There was a bunch of them, and they were chopping him to bits. He couldn't seem to transform properly. Like, he kept trying to transform, and it wasn't working. And she could just tell he was losing the fight, man. He was getting fucked up, and like. At one point, she grabs you when she's like getting super worked up, and roll me your spell save or your spell attack roll.
Oh, okay. Spell attack roll.
Yeah.
Plus 12.
Or actually, give me a wisdom save. That'll be easier.
Wisdom save.
Yeah.
Okay. Plus 7. Okay. It's not easier for me. It's easier for you to have me fail.
Right. That's what I meant.
Okay, so 19.
Okay, so you get like a brief flash of what she described, like the building with the grassy, sandy spot, and like a sky reflected off red sand. But it's super duper brief, and it doesn't really give you too much help in locating teleport to destination. But it's a little bit more help than you had, but it's not perfect.
So that's great. Time of day. I just want to know if her vision, just by what I saw there briefly and the time of day that it would have been, was her vision a scry or a precognition? As in, was what she saw present or future?
It was
Or
most likely present or super near present.
Okay, I mean,
just because of what you know of magic and this girl's powers and everything.
Well, the power of precognition is difficult, yes, but not impossible. Is her mouth blue?
She's fairly gifted, but not quite as gifted as you. And no, she's not. She doesn't dabble quite as hard as you do, man. The core kind of keeps her off the shit for now. They like keep.
Oh yeah, well now that's about to change right now because I'm about to get her fucked up. This is what happens. I take her back.
Put the bitch in the river like a shaman. Here.
Yes, that is what's happening, dude. Like I go back to my lab. I leave her in my study to meditate. I don't, not in the study that has the secret passageway because obviously I don't want her to see that, but a different study, or perhaps the foyer, under the scrutinizing gaze of Jeeves. I go down to my simulacrum, Malakaitu, Malakane, or whatever I call him, and I'll just basically very curtly say, change of plans. You will be tending to the politics after all, which I imagine his shoulders will probably slump when he hears, because now he's got to deal with the fucking shit while I go off on it and have an adventure. Then I grab up like my good shit, like all of my best reagents and all of my best scrying gear, and I get it all together. And I get my like adventuring pack together, and I get it ready, and I go back down, and I'll call her up to like this peaceful, serene room in the hall in the building that has like a dome ceiling and a starscape on it, and right in the middle of the starscape, of course, is the constellation Orion, and there's a pool of reflective water in the center that kind of reflects the light that's backlit behind the gems that make up the constellations above, and I'll set her up there, and man, I'm gonna drug the shit out of her, man. I need to know what's going on. I need to know what's up, and so we're gonna do a scrying ritual. She's gonna do a scrying ritual and try to follow her old vision back, but this time she's gonna have the power of Soma and me backing her up. And I'm gonna try to dive in there now. I think that I need to do detect thoughts in order to jump into her head again and help her through it. So I think that means I burn another spell slot here, unfortunately. I'm not ready to go off. I've burnt most of my big spells already today, unfortunately. But
so you're gonna use detect thoughts so you can see what she's seeing.
Exactly. Yes.
That's cool. Got you. Super legit. All right, yep. So tell me do whatever other preparations you want to make, and tell me, and we'll put it over.
So this particular room would be set up specifically for this. This is the house's scrying chamber. It was probably where my mother practiced because she was, remember, so it would have like her accoutrement all around, very feminine. This room, and we would set up around this pool. She would actually go into the pool. I would go into the pool with her. We're going full Baptist in this shit, right? I would set up behind her and hold her, make sure she stayed up above the water. As I began to chant, I would, say, chew this, whisper it kind of hoarsely in her ear, and from around behind her, a bit of the Soma root would appear. There would be a pentacle, ritual circle. Flames would pop into existence with a little prestidigitation on the candles all around, and I would just tell her to look up and the starscape above, which is kind of like, it's just basically going to suck her consciousness up and out, and I'm just going to drift along for the ride. Hopefully she's pretty good. Oh, and her roll is going to be a natural 20. Sorry.
Shit. Oh, you said nat 20 to that. Okay.
Yeah, nat 20.
All right, man. All right, that is super badass. Okay, so she's sitting there, and you mentioned, or you notice, especially when you guys begin to enter the space and meditate and do the magic stuff, that she seems to fit in perfectly in this area. She's a gnome, female gnome, and it's like you said, it's a very feminine spot, and she sort of takes naturally to some of the objects that are used ritualistically here, and it sort of reminds you of your mom in a little bit, because you haven't done divinations in here with the female gnome in a while, so that's pretty cool. But she begins to enter the soma trance. Her lips are stained, and her eyes fill up with the stars, and you can sense that a vision is forming, but you seem to be experiencing some lag because you can see the reactions on her face are not timed with when you're seeing them. You can sort of see her in the background of the image that you're seeing. You know how you kind of have a hazy image, and like you see Dick fighting 3 individuals who seem to have cloaks made of shadow. Just like as they move from place to place in spurts and flits instead of steps, they puff like smoke, and but from like their arms stretch out, and they look like they're wearing striped gloves or something, and they slash out with 2 daggers, and they're like, each time they flit in and out, like each slash is just landing true and just slashing the fuck out of this big ass gorilla. You recognize him instantly to be Dick, and he's all cut up, man, real cut up. And you just see him swatting them and punching them and hitting them, and sometimes they'll get knocked down, but get right back up, and it's a sick battle, man. And you can see the sun setting in the background, and it's like a temple to Vecna. It's like all broken and destroyed. It's like a wooden temple, like a one room type thing, with the pointy roof. And it's real dilapidated and destroyed. Like that's the background of this spot. And as the blows land on Dick, each blow, you see Sarah twitch, like she feels it, but her twitches are late. That's how you know there's a little bit of lag. And she begins to speak, and she says, in this strange voice, it doesn't sound like her really, and she says, "Star child, thrower of visions and arrows. And as these words come out, you get this vision of this face, striped face with these red eyes, just really peering at you. In this vision, just begins to rise up out of the haze of the vision. It says, "I see you." And you just see this face. It looks like a fucking tiger face with red eyes.
Yep. Yeah, Malachi, like through this fucking vision, dude, like just this whirlwind of celestial winds just whapping all around him. He'll say, "I am coming for you, creature." And then with that, I will retract myself from the vision.
As the vision fades, as Sarah falls to the ground, you hear that voice whispering in the air around you, like it's in your head still a little bit as the vision goes away, and it says, "Star child, But it sounds like there's going to be more to it, but it fades away as if the words are ripped away as the vision is ripped away, and you just feel that reverberating in your brain. Star Child, Star Child.
All right, imagine with all of the shit and the critical that I've got what I need in order to get myself teleported there. Yes.
Oh yeah, dude. It's like you've been there, dude. You basically felt like you were getting chopped up in this fight.
Okay, so I don't actually have the power to cast a spell myself anymore. So it's either we wait 8 hours, which we can't do. So yes, it's the plan is to meet with Pendle Smart and divert him away from the task that he was going to do, and instead he's going to send us out there. I don't know if I can describe where he needs to go, but I do not have the power to teleport again today, unfortunately.
Okay, so you're headed to go meet Pendle Smart at the appointed spot?
Yes.
Okay. Anything else?
All kitted up and ready. No, that's it, man. My Similaricum knows. I will leave Sarah in the care of Jeeves. I will tell her she is my guest now, and not to leave until I return, and that Jeeves will take good care of her in her Soma stupor.
Yeah, she asks you if she can stay under the stars in the pool.
I will say yes, and then I will like look up at Jeeves, who's probably got this like really kind of like really kind of look on his face. Of course, he doesn't say anything, and I look at him and I'll say, "And Jeeves will make sure you are in good company, dear."
As
you? Yes.
Yeah, she looks at Jeeves and you, and she says, "I'm gonna see the swimmers. I want to watch the swimmers swim."
Yes, my dear. That's a good girl. You did good today. Yeah. As I get out of the pool van, I go and I get into some dry clothes and I fucking dart on out of there. And just right before I leave, I get Jeeves' attention and I say she is not to leave until I return. And then I just go. Meet up with Vila and
as you hear Jeeves saying, "Now, Master Sarah, perhaps you should put this robe on." He's not having.
No, I love the swimmers. I just like see a big splash of water hit Jeeves. He's like, "My goodness, is that really necessary?"
Super legit. Okay, Vila, what about your preparations, man? What are you doing before you head over to meet with Pendle Smart or to meet back with Malachi?
I'm going to I'm gonna run back to my old chamber and all that, or a lot of that. Like, I gathered my couple of magic trinkets, which really ain't much. I got my my goggles of dark vision, and I just kind of throw those on my neck. My quarterstaff and some bracers. Throw on my bracers and my good jumping shoes, which are just like some of those like those sandals that like look like two toes. You know what I mean?
Got a little Nike swish on the side.
Yeah, except like besides from the Nike swish, they're basically just like flip flops. They're just. So like I still got my dragon feet out and ready to go, but they just, that way I don't step on any particularly sharp stones.
So you're rocking Jesus sandals with toe protection.
Yeah, pretty much. But I don't change out of my nice robe. I don't really think about the fact that that's like my nice robe. I'm still wearing it. It's all silken and white and kind of got some, brownish trimmings. Then it's about to get real nasty because we're going to go fight some shit. And I just roll right back out. And head back to where I assume Malachi is.
Okay, when you get there, Pendle Smart is sitting there reading a book,
Mm-hmm.
totally chilling.
I imagine he'd be pretty surprised to see me coming. And
He doesn't even notice you. He's reading his book.
I wrap my staff against the stone. It echoes ominously, obviously.
He looks up as if he's gonna be annoyed, and then he sees you, and his expression changes, and he says, "Malachi, Master Eisenstein," and he rises, putting away his book. What is it?
Battlesmart, my man. The plans have changed. Dick is in trouble. We must go to his aid. Once.
Again?
Unfortunately, yes. Let's say I have expended the energies which allow me to travel. I must borrow upon yours.
You just
go at once.
His face is probably the face that you had when the girl was like, "We have to go now to save Dick," and he says, "I have also expended my energies. I've collected these 2 rings to accomplish the mission at hand. They will be destroyed upon use, but here, you take them. They will allow you to go and return safely."
Very well.
You wish me to accompany you, and he looks like he does not want to go.
He says, "No, unfortunately, I'll have to leave the business of politicking in my Similaricum's hands. I will need you to make sure he does not stray from the path."
He fucking, like, just quick as hell, man. He grabs his collars and he fluffs them and picks up his coat as if fuck everything is right in the world. And he says, "Understood," and he nods like, "Yes."
Because he gets to go and boss a Malachi around.
Well, because he didn't have to go fight. You could tell he was relieved that he didn't have to go save Dick. He didn't. Dick's always getting into some shit. That's not Battlesmart's joint.
I'll stand within the circle. I'll look over to you and I'll say, "My boy, are you ready?"
I nod, like real determined-eyed. I'm getting in the zone. I'm doing my like mental meditations to prepare for battle. Kind of like you see me kind of like flicking a bit as I'm like, stretching out and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'll hand you the ring and I'll slip mine on as you slip yours on, and then he'll say, "With all powers combined," and he'll fucking pump his fist into the air and activate the teleport. Oh yeah, baby. Oh, Captain Planet reference. You guys didn't get it.
Heart.
I feel
yes. Water. Here we go. Let's go. Let's get this shit going.
Okay. Y'all roll me a D100. Somebody, one of y'all. I don't care which one.
All right.
I don't even know how to do that. How the hell do you get a D1?
I'll do it. You just. Oh God. All right. Here we go.
Is that one of the ones on here? Nah, I can't handle that.
This is tough. D100. Here we go. Oh God. Come on. Oh my God. That's not good. That's very bad.
Okay. You appear in the red sand. There's a scrubby grassland just feet away from you, the desert behind you. In the distance, the sun has set, but you can see its light still penetrating over the horizon. The air already grows cold around you. The signs of battle are all around you. Flames burning what's left of this grass away. Spots of ice on the ground. The hills and divots in the ground where the battle took place. Before you in the ground, you see a large mass laying, obviously the body of the gorilla Dick. You do not see any shadowed figures around.
Sniff the air. I'm like, I want to sniff around.
Give me a perception.
Perception, all right. Oh man, my perception is way lower than my survival. Damn. Nah, fuck that.
Dude, you smell the blood of many creatures.
I go hobble.
Death.
I go running over to Dick, and I'm gonna put my ear next to his mouth and see if he's breathing.
He's breathing.
All right, I'm gonna pop a fucking healing potion and fucking dribble that shit in his big ass maw.
I'm gonna follow behind you and cast Cure Wounds once I see it's obvious he's alive.
Let me just look this healing potion up.
What's Cure Wounds? A D6?
8. What level spell slot are you going to use?
It's gonna have to be
2d4
3. We'll get him back in the game.
2d4 plus 2. All right, so here's the potion. 6 whole hit points, which should be enough to rouse him to some state of consciousness. Hopefully, if he operates as if a PC. I need a break. Holy shit, I need a break. I don't hear Archie, so I'm feeling like Archie is fucking it up.
No, I'm here, man. Ben, did you pop a heal too? How much did that motherfucker do on his ass? Okay, 18 on him. Okay, so he
Hold on, because Ben, you also get your wisdom mod on top of those 3d8s.
That'd be 21 then.
Okay. So
Hold it 27.
27 total. Super legit. He gasps, grabbing your arm, Malachi, and he says, "We must leave. We must escape. Take us away." And he sort of collapses again.
I'll fucking hit the goddamn ring and teleport our asses out of here.
Okay.
Shit.
No,
does it work?
Well,
Huh?
you used yours. Your ring broke and disappeared, but Ben can get y'all out of there.
Yeah, no, I'm on it.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, it's a one use thing. It burned. Yeah, you have a little burn around your.
I get it.
Brass ring disappeared. And so yeah, Ben, you can take y'all back to the.
Oh
floor.
damn! I thought we were going to be out here for a while. Shit.
If you had dilly dallied anymore, you definitely were going to be out here, but you probably would have stayed here forever because you would have died. Anybody who can take dick out, you should be afraid of. That's for sure. All right, so yeah,
I'm not playing with that.
you guys got the fuck out of there. That's good. Okay. We can, if you want to take a 5, man, we'll take a 5.
Yeah,
right
man, I gotta pee. I just gotta get some more tea in me and stuff. And
yeah, we'll start back in at 45, whatever the hour is. 45.
I thought we were gonna kick some ass, man. I thought there was ass kicking to be had.
There was, but I kind of didn't want to kill y'all. Well, I do, but not really.
I mean, we can go mug somebody right quick. It's a big city, right?
Nah, I'll be right back, guys.
We can start a bar fight.
Hey, Babu. Are you okay over there? Are you okay? You're not moving around much today. Hmm?
Y'all back?
Yo, yo.
Still got a minute left, so that's cool.
Alrighty. Yeah, my Baba Booey. Big a boy. You are. You're the sweetest boy. All right. I am back.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. Let's pick it back up, man. You guys appear in the forest with Gorilla Dick on the ground. That didn't come out right, but you know what I meant. He's here with y'all. I need. I'm gonna force y'all to do things just because I need to know if you notice this stuff. So, Ben, give me a heal. I hope you have that. If you don't, I don't care. Just do that one anyway. And Malachi, hit me up with the Arcana check.
Arcana? Okay. So you asked Ben for a healer's kit check?
Just yeah, heal. I think heal is in 5e, right?
No, that's not a spell.
Medicine.
Medicine.
Okay, that's what I want you to do. Sorry.
Okay. Arcana, I got +10 on this, so let's roll it flat. I had a good portent, so that's 20 for me.
Oh, okay. You got to. Okay, hey, that's legit. Okay. Something's wrong with his wounds, man.
They're not healing up right.
I mean, it hasn't been long enough for him to even heal, but they have that black shadow shit in them, and it's like coming out.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And with that height, like this is it might not even be safe to keep him here in the spot where the family's at. You might need to relocate his ass. But as you are reappearing and looking down at Dick, now that you're in proper light and everything, and you can see, well, maybe not as proper light, but you can see, you're not in peril of getting murdered imminently. So you're looking at that. You notice you hear a voice in your. No, never mind. I'm tripping. That ain't right. So what do y'all want to do, man? You got Dick right there. What do y'all do?
I'm double checking if I can cast detect poison, so I can get some kind of idea of what's going on with this.
I'm gonna tell you right now. You know he's poisoned, man. You can see it with your eye.
Here we go. I lay a hand upon him, and I grumble a word, and I cast protection from poison. You touch a creature. If it is poison, you neutralize the poison. If more than one poison afflicts the target, you neutralize one poison that you know is present, or you neutralize one at random. For the duration, it has advantage on saving throws against being poisoned, and it has resistance to poison damage.
Okay, make me a will save, please.
Okay. Why can't I roll anything greater than 10?
Because you are not meant to succeed this game. You shall fail.
Hey man, that was my fucking deal earlier.
Rolls, yeah, man.
You know what? I'm gonna use another lucky because I have them, and because fuck this game.
You should use it right now. You're wise to do that because I was about to.
There we go. That's better.
Yeah, that's much better. Okay. As you heal that stuff, the shadow coalesces. Like all the shadows move up together and coalesce around your arm, like move up your arm, and you breathe them in for a second. And as you breathe them in, you feel like this growl in your throat. It doesn't feel like your voice. It feels like another voice inside your body. So yeah, but you expel it or get rid of it somehow. So describe that, man. Describe how you react to this situation that occurred here.
What's above me?
You're in the forest. You the forest where you live.
I point my head up and I make a sort of barking noise, and a blast of very blue bright light shoots out of my mouth, and I use my breath weapon to try to get it like clear my throat as deeply as I know how, which is to just fill it with lightning.
Okay, so totally you shoot out a bit of lightning, but the sound that comes out is the sound of a lion's roar. And instead of shooting out like a full power, full big ass blast, a tiny blast pierces through this gout of liquid smoke that just pours out of your mouth like runny ass vomit, just running out of your body, like a fucking slippery snake just running down your face.
Oh yeah, I think that was good. Also, I would like to, when he casted the poison thing, I would like to have also casted detect magic, so I could see whatever the fuck's going on. If there's anything to it.
The same cloud, its light is very, very bright. It's very magical. And it seems to fall to the ground and sort of flow away like water flowing. But it seems to move away like over the ground out of his mouth and just like smoke that can't rise above the ground. Like dry ice, black.
Never mind. It won't work that way.
I was wondering if I could cast magic missile at the darkness on the ground.
You can most certainly do that. That just hits and you just do your damage, right?
Yeah. It does. Indeed. It was totally a joke, but I will do it. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. All right, let me see if I have it in my character sheet. Magic missile at the darkness, and I did it. Let me just put it into my sheet real quick because that'll be faster than actually trying to look it up, I think. Okay. And we will cast this at level 3, I guess. Do it. So 19 force damage. I know it'll like these. It's like, how many of these fucking things are there? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7 or something. These little orbs of light. He'll do he'll just point his finger and they'll just whoosh, and they'll chase these wisps down and fucking blast into him.
As you blast this little cloud of floating black smoke stuff. It lets out like a like I didn't do it well, like a baby Simba, and it totally transforms into a little lion. Like it looks full grown, but it's tiny, like a gnome-sized lion person. And it tries to run away.
Do I have time to notice this and react?
Fuck yeah, dude.
Oh hell yeah. I see this little bastard trying to not be a cloud, and I'm just like, oh hell no. I'm assuming that this is the thing that was attacking Dick, so I get up, take one step, and then I just leap over it to the other side of it, and I gather up another kind of like gather up my hands behind me, and then I throw one arm out directly in its direction, and there's a huge wave of force, and I use the old fist of unbroken air, or whatever the hell it's called, and just send a column of air careening at it. So it's got to make this DC save.
Oh, nice. So you're doing like the monk air punch thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's got to make DC 16 or all that crap happens to it.
Are you fucking kidding me? Man, you poor bastard. You
What?
rolled a 2, a 3, and a 1 on your damage dice.
I know, shut up. I'm trying not to look at him.
Definitely leap over your punch and bounds off your hand doing a flip and keeps running.
Oh, what a little shit.
Yeah. I'll take over.
Yep. Okay. Do it to it, y'all. Y'all each get one more shot to get this motherfucker before he escapes.
All right. I'm gonna take a moment to kind of like, when it does that, I kind of snort and I collect myself. Then I'm doing some hand motions and whispering some mantras in Draconic. So just kind of rumbling to myself. So while I'm doing that, if you want to go, Malachi, because I'm about to unleash some serious magic.
I mean, dude, man, I've been fucking taxing myself hard tonight. If you want to fucking throw one more out there before I try to clean up, and go for it.
All right.
Because if you miss, I'm fireballing his ass. So
in the forest, man.
Forest will burn. Yeah, I know.
As I'm
better not fail. That's on you. If forest burns, it's on you.
This forest is at least 100 feet tall, right? I'm guessing.
Yes.
As I'm gathering my hands and kind of moving my arms in short motions right in front of me and chanting to myself, it starts getting like humid and thick. And then if you're looking up, you notice some clouds gathering, like right at the treetops, like not even very high up, almost too high or almost too low. And I cast Call Lightning.
Oh yeah, baby. Fucking dodge that shit.
And it does all kinds of crap.
Fucking Christ.
So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna only do it at one level. So I'm gonna do I think it's 3d10. Where does it save? Okay, it gets a dexterity save or it takes half damage. Oh wait, I'm doing this backwards. Spell attack, right?
It's a saving throw.
Save DC.
Oh, okay. It's got to make a save against 16.
Describe how you fucking lightning bolt this motherfucker to death like Pikachu.
It's running away, right? It's going fucking helter skelter, thinking its little lion ass is getting away, and I'm just standing behind it, kind of and like doing my arms together, and then I hit the end of my spell, and the clouds have gotten real thick above us, and I just put a leg up and like take a step forward, but it's a real long step. And I do a similar motion to what I just did for the other technique, except this one's obviously like I'm not trying to punch anything, I'm directing something. And I just let out another sort of bark. And when I do that, just right above this motherfucker, and however far away he got, just boom, lightning. Big ass lightning strike. Goes right in between the trees real nicely because I love those trees. So it just bends itself just so. Maybe knocks a branch or two off, but the trees are all right. But it just strikes this little lion bastard. Bada bing, bada boom.
Yeah, man. Like you see one dead branch like disintegrate, and a little tiny bud sprouts freshly there. Like you totally are. That was some helpful ass lightning. And the little guy roars, but this time the roar is not little. It sounds different, bigger, scary, intimidating. Actually, I need you both to roll a will save.
I cleared 10.
Hold on a second. That's without modifiers. I think I got.
Okay. Then you passed. Then you're good. Damn, I thought I was gonna get you. Okay, so both of you guys passed that, man. The sound just was.
It's only 16. If
You're fine. You passed.
Okay. DC 15. Gotcha. Yeah. You'll like it. You know, after you get done with your climactic awesome spell, you might like look back and you would see Malachi with like this little ball of like yellow stuff in his hand and he's putting it back in his pouch. And, and he would look up at you and he'd say, "Very good, my boy. An impressive show. You are full of surprises, aren't you?" Very good, very good.
What was that? How's Dick? Wait, yeah. First of all, how's Dick? And I'm scampering right back up to him.
Yeah, how is he? So, is his wounds still seeping with shadowy magics?
No, it seemed to. It all seemed to come out when he did that poison spell. So he's just laying there, unconscious but breathing and sleeping peacefully.
Oh, little tyke.
He's a big ass gorilla, but yeah.
All right. Now, would you say that he is more than 400 pounds?
If we have,
I would.
Man, if we have to move him, I got telekinesis up to 1,000 pounds. We could move him.
Oh, you can do 1,000 pounds. Oh wait, 500 pounds? Is he?
I think he weighs between 500 and 600 pounds. I would think about 620, but that's just my guess.
Okay.
And
well, I can't do my thing, so if you can do your thing, so Malachi will say, I believe we'd be best served by executing some discretion here, my boy. Perhaps we will stay with Dick the night in the woods, yes? This is your purview, I believe. Perhaps you could show the way. Somewhere safe, somewhere comfortable, somewhere he might like.
I nod my head, but I'm thinking to myself, and Archie, I need you in on this inner dialogue. Would it be okay for me to bring my friend Malachi to like the secret druid circle? I don't think it would be, would it?
I don't think you could even do that, man. I think if you took him there, it would be a different place. It would be like exactly the same, but somehow different.
I could bring Dick there though, right? Because he's a druid.
Yeah.
I kind of, all right. So I'm kind of nodding my head and I'm thinking, which is not something you see Violet do like deeply very often because I'm grappling with this very question right now. And I reach a conclusion and I nod my head a bit and I'm like, yes, I know somewhere that we can go, but unfortunately you wouldn't be able to follow. But I can all but guarantee his safety there for as long as we need.
Hmm.
But yes, I can do that.
Malachi will kind of look at you, he'll cock his head to the side. He's kind of appraising you. He's got a bit of a smile on his face, and he says, "Very well. I will see to business at the city while you tend to Dick." And he'll reach into his pocket and he'll pull out this little smooth stone and he'll hand it to you. He'll say, "Hold this stone and speak my name, and then 25 words or less, and I will hear them. If you need to contact me."
I take the stone and I nod real obediently because I feel kind of bad that I can't let you come along. Like I know it wouldn't work out, but I also don't really want to tell you why.
Well, Malachi has been around a while. He knows that druids are secretive and that they have their ways. And seeing your display here has certainly convinced him that you are undoubtedly a powerful druid.
So, all right, well, I'll let you know when our mutual friend awakens.
Yes, do. First word, please. I will need to speak with him as soon as he is able.
I nod once more and I turn to Dick and I put one hand kind of underneath him and the other above him. And I'm only wearing 2 rings, and one of them, it's just a thin little silver band with like a little chunk of stone on it. Not even like a nice stone, like a turquoise or something, but it's still when I put my hand above it, it glows much brighter, much more brilliant, almost like it just suddenly turned to an emerald. And then Dick's just floating, and I'm guiding it with both hands and just trotting along at a brisk pace into the woods with him just floating in front of me, almost like he's like a watermelon and I'm just carrying him. And I'm out. And we're off to the secret part of the woods.
All right, we're gonna skip the night unless you'll have anything you want to do over it, and we'll pick up the next day as we settle those speeches, the 2 speeches that Malachi needs to deliver. We can do them through roles, and you can just sort of describe it, or you can give a fucking speech if you want. I don't care, whatever you want to do, man.
Hey, man, I'm horrible at giving speeches, so
just describe like your goals of the speech, and we'll do a roll, and that'll be straight.
Yeah. The only things is like Malachi will return to the city. He will meet briefly with Pendle Smart, and just with no details or anything, he will just essentially make it known that that he was successful. And then I will return to my apartments in the palace and check on Sarah before going to probably to his great pleasure, letting Malacan know that he is indeed off the hook and that I will be retaking the mantle of Malachi. The true Malachi in the morning. And then I will go and I will rest exhausted as I have expended in a massive amount of arcane energies today. And divination abilities and all kinds of, like, I have really worked it.
While I'm with Dick in the circle, I want to heal him a bunch more times. But at some point, I just want to meditate and take a short rest. I want to use my a skill here to replenish a couple of spells instead of just taking a whole sleep, so that way he can get his health back. Just side note, while you're campaigning.
How much do you think you could do with all your castings?
Oh man, let me.
You don't have to actually roll them. Just give me a guesstimate, because this dude is actually no punk bitch.
I could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I could do 7d8, and that would be all of my spell slots. Actually, no, that math was terrible. Let me try that again.
Yeah, I was about to say that seems a little off.
1, 2, 3, 4, I could do 4, 10. What is that? 13 D8 plus 3 each D8, or like plus 3 times 7. That's the equation. There we go. 13 D8 plus 3 times 7.
Okay, so yeah, you can top him off. I'll say that straight. That's a lot of fucking healing. Okay.
Or at least like
sleep, but
halfway, so I can still replenish all my spells.
I'm sorry, what?
I want to fill him up to like half health so that he's like in no real danger of dying. He might just need to like take a serious nap so that I don't expend all my spells because I can't replenish all of them.
Okay. Understood.
And then I'll just meditate in the woods in the circle, contemplating the darkness that came out of him, trying to think about what it might have been. All right, and that's me until he wakes up or until I'm summoned.
Okay. We're to the next day.
All right. Wait, where did that 11 come from? Did I accidentally? Oh, I guess those are my rolls. Okay. So 6, 11, and 18. All right. Yeah. Yeah. In the morning, I'll just see to it that that Sarah is comfortable, that she is well fed and rested. I will insist that she remains my guest for the next couple of days, and just so that word doesn't get out. Essentially, I'm just trying to keep a lid on the whole Dick situation.
She keeps asking you if she gets to go see the swimmers again. She really wants to see the swimmers more.
Yeah, I mean, she wants more of the Soma, doesn't she? That's what she fucking wants. No. Nah, man, like I'll be like I'll very like fatherly, like, you know, nah, you're you know, like I'll make up excuses and whatnot, and then like I'll make Sir Jeeves like fucking locks the shit out of my botany room where I grow all of my fucking Soma.
He tells you she really needs to see the swimmers again because they're important and they hold the secrets. But she's saying this all like a fucking crackhead, man.
Yeah, she's more than welcome to use the pool, but she's not welcome to sate her cravings for the Soma.
Oh, okay. Well, that's legit. If you let her go to the divination room, that's fucking almost as good.
Yeah, she can use the pool. But I'm going to have the Similaricum watching her, keeping an eye on things, reading her mind from time to time to see to it that she's not up to anything too untoward.
Do you fucking experience what the Simulacrum experiences, or does he have to like explain it to you?
He has to tell me. He's like his own dude.
That's what I was thinking. Okay.
But he has sending, and he can reach out to me through that. Actually, you know what I will have, since this is important, I will have him cast, you know, as I'm going, you know, to these events during the day, I will have him cast the psychic bond, which will allow him to telepathically communicate with me.
Just keep you in the loop.
Yeah, it doesn't last all that long, unfortunately. I would love to be able to like build a better version of that spell as a fucking badass mage.
That should be your research then. You could do that.
All right, yeah, we're going to work on that, because having that ability to communicate over long distances is going to be very important for my Simulacrum and I. But the name of the spell is Rory's Telepathic Bond. And it just makes it so that we're in like constant contact across.
You're good, man. That's cool. So the first speech is to the religious people, the monks, the different servants of the different gods.
Oh yeah, man.
The druids might even show up.
Yeah, and to this I will wear like you know, I'll wear a very modest ensemble. with a very modest pendant with the sigil of the whichever fucking faith I'm talking to, the main faith.
The main faith for this house is Cuthbert, but you also have strong ties to a couple other gods, Carl Glittergold and Heronius.
Yeah, I'll wear like the Cuthbert pendant. It's on like a leather thong, so it's real modest. And then I'll wear like a ring to one of the others, and whatnot. Maybe carry a book with the insignia of the third on it when I go and talk to these folks.
Cool.
And the body of the speech will be about the power of tradition, and about and he'll use he'll tie that into his name and his family and how they've always served, reminding them of the sacrifice, that how much sacrifice his family has over the years provided to the house itself, and really try coming at them from that perspective, because I know that religion and theology is all about those precepts of sacrifice. And
your ancestor did found this church.
Yes, that too. And then also making stabs about the hot-headed, temperamental Ori, and how she neither has the pedigree nor the temperament to lead our house in these trying times, and this, that, and the other thing.
Savage. All right, very good.
Yeah. All right. And I have a feeling, I have this strange feeling. Didn't I fucking have luck as well? Didn't I pick that fucking up? Huh?
Tell me, man.
Because I used it last session, didn't I?
Yeah, you used it, which gave me the idea to pick it up, actually.
Yeah, so I fucking have that shit. All right, so I just forgot to write it on my character sheet. I'll do an audit and make sure that my attributes are correct after this session, okay? Just to make sure that I didn't double dip or something, but I did last game. I just didn't write it down on the sheet for some fucking reason. Okay, cool. So let's get into this, because I want to save my portent for the last one, the really dank one. Okay, let's do a lucky just to see if we can get better than that. All right, so that's going to be, to great applause, I'm guessing, 24.
Excellent. Okay. So that went over pretty fucking well, man.
Yeah.
The religious people aren't much for cheering and riotous applause, but they seemed accepting of your ideas.
It's all like about grace and humility, and then at the end, making sure that Ori gets shit on. Yeah. All right, cool. Yeah, man. And after that, I'll spend a good hour or so during the reception, answering questions and just behaving very level-headedly and keeping it together until Pendesmart undoubtedly pulls me away to go to the next engagement.
Very good. So you put it over, man. You definitely won some good constituents to your side. And Pendesmart fetches you and takes you to the teleportation circle to go to a meeting of the leaders of all the great families.
Oh, interesting. Okay, so this is a pretty big one.
Well, here's this Pendesmart informs both of you of this, because I assume Leth is also with you, and Kyla or Vila, and he explains that it's tradition for when any new leader is chosen for any of the families, that potential candidates meet with all the other leaders of the other families, because if there's a tie, like in the voting or whatever, and they can't pick, the other families get the deciding vote.
Oh, that's odd, but understandable, I guess. All right, yeah. Well, I will make sure that I do my wardrobe change, and now I'm in my finery. I don't overdo it with too much jewelry, but I definitely wear, and I'll wear my mourning colors as well, in consideration of my dear beloved Ambrosia. But it's okay. And then one question is, as we're walking together to this next engagement, I'll turn to Pendlesmart and I'll say, any word of God, all these fucking names. And no wonder you have a hard time remembering this shit. I can't even fucking do it. Oh, any word of Frenay?
Yes, I was able to retrieve her last night. They were none too pleased, but they agreed. They should be amenable at the meeting. They meant to party up until the last minute.
Surely they can understand that minute had come.
He gives you a wink and he says, I think they'll find Ori's representative to have been even more lacking.
Very good. Very good. Fucking goddamn Malachi has turned it into a shill. All right, yeah. Let's go. Let's go and fucking schmooze these mother brothers.
Okay, so once again, I want you guys to both describe one aspect of this meeting place. This is at the same place where, in the same New Figton, the place where you go for the reckoning, the home of House Ophia. They hold most of the meetings for everyone.
All right, can I go first?
Yeah.
All right, so it's a coliseum, and it's in the crown of that great tree with the library. So it's open to the air above, and it's hundreds of feet up in the sky. At the very top of that tree, a big amphitheater.
Yeah, it sits like a crown atop it. Nice.
That's awesome. It has it's open air, right? But give me a second to think about this. All right, man. It's made of, like, it feels like stone. It's sturdy, it's hard, but it probably isn't. It's probably wood that's been like magically shaped by a lot of different arts for like maximum sturdiness. And so it almost looks like the tree kind of just decided at one point to grow into the base of this thing. Like it just decided, you know what I'm going to do? Make a foundation. And so the tree just grew into it. And so its branches and trunks at one point just kind of come up into this, and then it's just this thick, almost like a chunk of earth growing out of the tree. And on top of that, they built this it's built out of the same stuff the rest of the library is built out of. So it, blends in proper, but it's, it's
I love that, dude.
It's a very specific magic.
That's amazing. Roll me in nature.
Come on.
Okay. Yeah, man, it looks like it was probably some druid magic that made this.
Nice.
Anyways, so the meeting begins. It's called to order by the representative of House Ophia. His name is Lord Cash. He's this super tall, opulent, totally sort of asexually beautiful elven man lady. They're obviously a man, but they're so attractive. Like, it doesn't matter who you are, you're like attracted to them because they're just so perfect in every fucking way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, baby.
Or they just have that fucking like, you know, like a 26 charisma or some shit, you know, something like that, like some ridiculous stuff where it's like, wow, wow,
Mm-hmm.
that type of shit. So this dude, and he's super like, you know, formal and hardly ever speaks and everything. He's the real deal. And he motions for the proceedings to begin, and the servants bring out the food and stuff. The eating begins. There's small talk and bullshitting as everybody's eating before the speeches. So if you want to do any type of talking to or you pick out any specific houses representatives and talk to them first, or we can just jump right into your speech plan and roll it out.
Yeah, I will go and I'll pay our new halfling allies. I'll make sure to visit them first and to thank them on behalf of our house for their hospitality. That you've heard, that I've heard, you know, great tales of the festivities that they put on in honor of our dear Fernay, and that we look forward to working together and through the coming decades and centuries.
They laugh and make a promise to send her back so she can learn to properly party. She's much too subdued for their liking, but they agree that, you know, as long as you keep sending her and let her learn to party, that you'll be good allies. She's their project.
Of course,
you know, she's their project. They want to get her to party.
Of course. Wouldn't have it any other way. That's fucking hilarious. They're like gay guys try to make over like a house mom, you know, right? Like
pretty much
one of those shows, like Straight Eye for the Queer Guy or whatever that's called.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Oh, okay. Yeah. And that, you know, I'll move around. I just, you know, making myself out to be just as you know, jovial or not necessarily jovial, but you know, as couth as possible with my considerable persuasion abilities. Yeah. Meet and greet, shake a lot of hands.
How are you going to interact with the representatives of House the enemy, the guys you were at war with? They're there.
Oh, it'll be well, I'm sure that they've heard of my my victories in battle against their leaders.
Of course, yes.
And so it'll be all very like sickly sweet. But there'll be that glint that Malachi loves to use in his eyes of yes. And knowing that they cannot do anything to raise a hand against me, I will not provocate them, but I will make it clear that I'm not intimidated.
Cool. And do you want to take the same tact with the Skeleton House, the Enteritis? Because that was Imperium, you know, the ones that you guys are actually at war with. You're not actually at war with Enteritis, but that's that skeleton. You know that lady that you made war?
Enteritis is the one that I destroyed.
They live in the Land of Ashes, and they've had some skirmishes, but like you guys aren't directly at war with. Yes, you killed some of their people.
I thought so. My understanding is that we were at war with Enteritis, and we were not at war with the other one.
It's backward. That's backwards. No, that's how it started out. But it quickly became clear that Imperium was manipulating the situation and trying to make you fight them instead. And then real war.
Oh, so that battle that we did last session, at the beginning of last session, when we killed that lady and we were fighting a bunch of skeletons, that wasn't our true enemy?
Not exactly.
Okay, well, I don't know what's happening right now with that. So,
no, that's
I'll just.
I'm sorry for not explaining that properly.
The very last session, I think we opened with us fighting House Enteritis in a massive like army on army battle. So I thought for sure that they were the ones we were at war with.
They were. That's true, but I'm pretty sure you guys were fighting the Shadow people.
We were fighting against an army of skeletons, and we killed the Iteratus general.
Yeah,
Remember?
but yeah,
Like I fucking like, struck her down.
Her army was not in the baller armor with the baller weapons. She had weaker, crappier skeletons. So yeah, it's a different.
All I know is that it's.
Anyways, that
all
we're
I know is
getting
that
bogged down. That doesn't matter. So I was. So you were cool. So I'm gonna say that you were cool with the you were doing that stuff that you just said with the House Imperium, the guys you were at war with. Do you want to? How do you want to approach Enteritis?
Well, so Iteratus, I will. Well, they know because they're the ones that I defeated, and so I will treat them with the civility of and modesty of a victor, without any kind of disrespect. Like I'll just yeah, we went to war and I whooped your ass, and that's just what happened.
Make your perception, man.
Make your perception check. Okay. It's like a respected combatant, kind of. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, you totally do.
Okay.
Oh,
all right. Let me burn a little more luck here. How about 19?
Okay. The retainer of the representative from Enteritis is that cat that y'all met that one time, the first time.
Which guy?
The servant of that bitch lady.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. I will give him a nod, and I will ask him how he has fared since the war.
My station within the family has grown much thanks to your deeds. I am in your debt.
He says, and with the newfound peace between our houses, I imagine we could make good on that. Perhaps forge a... Yeah, go ahead.
No, please, go ahead.
He said, perhaps forge an alliance after all. He's just being very courteous and kind here.
He looks from his boss, the representative, to the people of Imperium, and he says, perhaps that may become possible, but I don't think it is possible at this time.
We shall see how time treats us. Surely you don't want to be on the wrong side of the conflict.
He gives you a knowing nod. Yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me what you want to aim at. Oh, Ben, Violet, did you want to holler at any of these fools?
Do what?
Do you want to talk to any of these fancy pants people?
Aren't I hanging back with Dick?
Are you? Did you not go to this meeting? I thought you were here, man. You and Leth are his like guards and shit at this meeting.
Oh, then yeah, no, I'm not. I don't have anything to say to this guy.
Okay.
I didn't think. I thought he was staying with Dick until he regained consciousness too. That's cool though that he's here. It's fine.
Oh, Dick was at your speech earlier, man. He's good.
Man, I got.
Oh, Dick was okay. All right, so Dick is all right. Okay. So he shows back up miraculously, and he's here to support me. Nice, awesome, great. It
is great. Yeah. So, but Violet's keeping it chill. What are you trying to tell these people, and then make your role, and we'll move it along.
Again, I'm going to stick to my platform. I'm just going to talk about it is an honor to speak before the great houses. To speak here now, as my family has done since the beginning, since the inception of our orders, blah blah blah, all tradition, and if anybody like brings up my past, I will spin it as a time of worldly learning that will serve me well should I be elected to lead our grand house. Like kind of spinning it like I spent the time out learning of other cultures, of their grand houses, of along those lines.
Excellent.
Which has gained me, great insight into their respective cultures, and from a very grounded position, and then yeah, let's rock this roll now. And also, I'm gonna fuck her again if she's gonna also speak. So.
Oh, she is, man. I need to tell me what you're gonna give her, or I'll do her roll.
Her roll is gonna roll 6. She's gonna roll a 6.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see what you got.
And let's see how well I do. Okay, so that's 26.
Damn.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. I'm gonna describe the outcome of this whole situation with one bit.
Okay.
This is then we're gonna move on to the next scene. At the end of the meeting, everybody has sort of had chances to speak, put in their 2 cents. The representative from House Ophia didn't say a damn word. Lord Cash, all he did was during your speech at the very, very end, he gave a slight nod and he smiled. And during Ori's speech, he filed his nails.
Oh yeah, no, that's the guy who leads the house that we're sitting on top of, right?
Yeah, he's
Okay.
the oldest leader, and he's even older than House Vitae's leader, which is like the House of Life.
He was the guy that I ran into during the Reckoning, right? That was sitting at all of the scrying. Fucking,
Yeah.
He was like in the scrying control room or whatever. That
and that little hobbit
Okay.
dude balled in on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got you. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right, nice. Yeah. So she got the shaft, and I got the fucking slightly less shaft.
Yeah, and later on, Leth tells you that that was basically the the best outcome ever that anybody could
Wonderful.
ever expect from Lord Cash. Like,
Wonderful.
it's like, have you heard of that fashion lady who, like, if she doesn't talk shit, you're good? It's like, that's the best thing. It's like that.
It's like Chef Ramsay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's good. That meeting is legit. We're gonna pass the night unless you guys want to do anything before the final day of election. Your final preparations.
That evening, I want to definitely ask Dick what happened and what was
Yeah.
backing him up.
Yeah, I would like to spend some time with Dick as well. I'll come out in my like hobo costume to
Actually, Dick's gonna come find you, and we're gonna do this in the divination room if that's okay with you.
Oh yeah,
Everyone
man.
splashes around, swimming with or playing with the swimmers.
So right about the time like Lee. So I imagine like Viola, you and I would be like hanging out in my study, like celebrating over some brandy or something, and you'd be like, "I'm going to go check on Dick," and then like the doorbell will ring and it's Dick.
Awesome.
Yeah. All right, and then yeah, we'll head over to the divination chamber with Dick. I still have an 18. Shit, I already erased because I thought we were passing the night. I erased my portents, but I know that I have an 18 left. All right, go ahead, brother.
Well, you go ahead, man. What do you? Dick says, "Hello.
Oh.
Thank you for saving me."
Oh, I thought you said it in the room because you wanted to do something specifically. My bad. Go ahead, Vila. This is your lead here.
No, that's it, man. Dick is enthralled by the swimming of the baby gnome. Like, like when an old
I
guy
was talking to Violet.
death, and then he sees like a young kid, and he like stares at them longingly. The life that he led, you can see that in his eyes, like all the years of his long life.
Well, I know Viola was probably be the first to ask Dick how he's doing because he was set on finding out. So, what do you got to say there, Ben?
I just look at him like, what happened? I thought, what befell you? Everything seemed fine when I left. When I returned here to the city.
As servants of the shadow beneath the mountain, you must have been drawn to me through the temple that you found me by. I don't know how.
What was it a temple of?
Oh, the goddess Vecna, goddess of death.
Oh my. I imagine your quest went unsuccessful?
Well, technically yes, but now we know he is aware of the threat.
Did you draw near to the one you sought?
No. I dare not take wing.
Well, perhaps then our enemy does not know your true aims, which could serve us.
He finally takes his eyes off of Sarah and he looks at you and he says, if you win tomorrow, could you send someone in my stead?
I will turn to Dick and I will say, when I win tomorrow, we will see to it that this task is made complete. Whatever it takes, Dick. You can count on that. I will not be like my cousin and allow my leadership to lead our house further down this path towards ruin. This enemy must be felled.
He touches the scars on his chest and he says, I fear we have not seen the last of those fighters. I think I should go try to confront them.
Perhaps.
I was not prepared. If I meet them again, it will not have the same outcome.
Indeed, my friend. Perhaps
you see grim resolve in his eyes, like his eyes actually literally change to the draconic, like of his true eyes, and you see that slit and just the fire of a fucking old ass dragon.
I like pat his calf, and I'm like, I agree. I'm sure this is true, my friend. But perhaps before you embark on such a quest, you could speak at the ceremony tomorrow. I imagine your words would go far towards securing our victory.
He looks at Viola and he says, well, he looks to Viola and then he looks back to you and he says, I'm not one for ceremony and speeches.
Mm-hmm.
I will do it if you think it will help, but I don't know what I'll say.
You do not need to say much. Only a simple endorsement will do. Stand by my side. Speak of my virtues. A few words will suffice.
He nods.
Very well.
And he turns to Viola and he says, Viola, my brother. And he pauses, like looking down, like he's contemplating. He says, I had a vision after the fight as I slept. And now he's starting to look at Sarah as she like swims around again. And now she's singing a song about the stars as he like stares at her. And in the background, she's like singing this song. It's kind of creepy.
I give him a sec to kind of look at the girl, and then I'm like, well, what was it? But I say it in Draconic. So it's all like growly and...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Malachi speaks Draconic.
That's cool, but like this dude,
he can't speak like you do. I mean, you're saying he just understands. You can actually pronounce the words properly.
Oh, I'm not. Yeah, cool.
Cool, man. Okay, so you say that, and he says he's still staring through Sarah, basically, and he says, "I think you are the one to retrieve this weapon. You must go. I'm not the one."
Retrieve this weapon being the mission that he was rolling on, right?
Yeah, that's what he meant.
Okay, yeah. Oh, yeah, I remember now. We were trying to like hide, like, okay, yeah, I remember now. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, Violet kind of blinks a bit because he hadn't been thinking that he would be the one to go get it, but he was trying to think of anybody he might know that could help. So he's kind of taken aback a bit. Then he's just like, all right. Well, if that's how it's got to be. But why though? Why do you think I'm the one to do it?
As the little girl swimming in the pool sings this creepy song, she's saying like, "As the swimmer's tears fills the sea," stuff like that. He says, "I have," and he touches his chest again, and he says, "been bound to other enemies, it seems." And he says this in Draconic, and it kind of rumbles the room. Like it's it's serious, man. It's like a vow to the gods. You can all feel it.
I lower my head, kind of somberly, like understanding, and then just awaiting, seeing what happens next.
As the little girl continues to sing this creepy song about the tears washing over the land and uh, cleansing out the darkness or some shit, the Dick turns to Malachi and says, "I don't think I can stay. I won't be able to go to the meeting tomorrow." Like this is he suddenly changed his demeanor completely. He like got serial as fuck. He's not a gorilla right now either. He's totally in human form.
I'll look up at him and I'll say, "But Dick, a debt is owed."
He says, "I have to leave tonight. A task must be done."
I will.
He touches your shoulder with his hand, and you can feel some strength now, man. Like he's gripping you, and he says, "The monsters I fought will return to me. If I stay here, they could return at any time. I have to leave."
Yeah, Malachi will like he'll be visibly disappointed. He'll
He says,
say,
"Oh, go ahead."
he'll say, "You must, you must."
He says, "In payment of the debt, I offer you a bit of information." And he motions to the room around you, and he says, "I don't think this room has always been this way. Perhaps tomorrow night, if you," and then he smiles and he says, "when you win, you should bring the eye of God and place it above this pool."
What was that, Benjamin, you bad boy?
He says, "You should bring the eye of God and place it above the pool. I think this room is powerful."
It was always my mother's favorite, he will say as he muses. He says, "Fly well, Dick."
He turns to Viola and he says, across the desert and the grasslands, to the foot of the hills. Follow this map. You will find him. Gives you like a high map.
I take the
Your
map.
microphone. Stop sitting on your mic, man.
Do what?
Go in your butt.
Do what?
I'm sorry. I said.
Anyways, yeah, no, I just take the map. They just kind of tell them good luck. Stay safe. Don't get ed by shadow demons.
And that's the end of this meeting, unless y'all have anything else y'all want to say to Dick or anything.
No. No, that was the last thing. Just fly well. As he leaves, I'll turn to Vila and I will ask, will you stay here or will you retreat to your own chambers?
I think I'll stay here because there are some things I wanted to discuss. Or I wanted to ask you about.
Perfect.
Did you for your ascension to power?
He will clap his hands a couple of times, and Jeeves will mysteriously appear within a few seconds, and I'll say, prepare the guest room in the West Wing, and off he goes. I will say, Violet, why don't you meet me in my personal study here? I need to tend to something first. I will have refreshments sent up.
Then that is where I will head.
Wonderful. And I'll nod to Jeeves, to tend to those two tasks, and he will go. As Viola leaves, I want to turn back to Sarah, and I'm just going to reach out with a Detect Thoughts spell, another one, and I'm going to read her mind, man. I'm going to see what's going on in there. She's acting funny. So it's
Make a will save. John, it works. Make a will save.
Me will save? Okay.
Yep.
I will roll since we're about to go to bed tonight, I will go ahead and make it my roll an 18, which will bring it to 23.
Okay, good. You see 4 separate visions as if she has 4 minds or is in 4 places. You see creatures, giant creatures swimming in the ocean. All of them are like, they all have a trail behind them of other creatures that are just like following behind them in like a procession of sea creatures. That's how you can tell their size, because the creatures behind them are like fucking ants, but they're not. They're like full size, big ass creatures. And this fucking thing is gigantic, like bigger than an island. And it's under the ocean. And there's fucking 4 of them. They all look really different. Like one's looking like a turtle, one's looking like a normal fish, one's looking like a weird, creepy, like blob dude. They're all real different and unique. And they're all singing this song, and it's the song that Sarah was singing, but like it's in a language that you can't understand. It's like she's somehow translating this weird ass language. Mm-hmm. And it's the will save was to not be had your mind broken. This is like some elder god shit. The fucking emotion in this song has like obviously broken Sarah somehow to where like she can't escape from it because it's too deep. Just the depth of this shit. And it's just this song of sorrow and regret and loss and recompense.
Yep.
And you feel all that in this instance as you reach. And you also feel that these creatures are trying to reach to you through her. Like they can somehow feel you. That's why it just worked automatically. But you resisted the pull to like join them in their sorrow.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was concerned about. I will use whatever means it is that I use to summon Pendle Smart. I will send the urgent signal.
Yeah, he has a
Is that
sending
I need-
stone like you use. Yeah.
Like my quarters, my apartments immediately.
Yeah. So he'll be there within like a minute or two.
Mm-hmm. As when he arrives, Bernard will lead him to me, and he'll just see me there standing in the doorway, peering into this room, watching her. As he comes in and joins me, standing beside of me, looking into the room, he'll undoubtedly see the subject of my gaze, and I'll turn to him and I'll say, "She must be relocated to the asylum immediately. Use discretion." Oh shit! That guy's an asshole.
Yeah, that was a dick move. He gives you a confused look, but he nods acceptance, and he says it will be done.
Very well. Big day tomorrow, I'll say, as I'm walking down the hallway away from him.
He frowns. Roll me a perception. I'm sorry, I have to do this. I hate to waste time, but I need it. It's funny.
I roll a 5.
Okay.
I got no more. I got no more tricks.
You missed it. Okay. He mumbled something, but you don't know what it was. You're gonna go meet
I'm
up
used
with
to mumbling.
Yeah.
Yep.
No,
I'm gonna go meet up with.
Good.
As I arrive, I will go over to a table with a shining silver platter, and I'll retrieve 2 crystal goblets and pour from a beautiful crystal decanter some fine pear brandy, and I will bring our the 2 goblets over to the overstuffed leather-bound chairs sitting next to the fireplace, and I will say, "Sit, my boy. You wish to speak with me?" I'll hand you one of the brandies.
Yeah, I don't have any specific questions. I just was gonna ask in general to teach me about politics. Like, how does it work? How does your job out to work? So that way Violet can have some understanding of what exactly is going on. Because he's gotten some, but it sounds like he realizes he's about to be a lot more involved in it than he thought he would be. So he's just kind of hoping you'll just chatting about it, teach him how politics works, like the gist of it,
Oh yeah. Over brandy, and soon Jeeves will show up. Maybe 20 minutes later, after preparing your rooms, he'll show up with a tray with like one of the fucking domes on it. He'll open it up, and there'll be food there. And all the while, Malachi will be answering questions, telling you about the politics of House Immortalum. Yeah. Afterwards, cigars will be on offer as we sip brandy and smoke cigars into the night. We'll fucking retreat out to the veranda, looking out over all that hopefully I will soon rule. And you will speak of the history of the house and of the kingdom, and talk about the secret of the house, which you of course learned, and is that we were founded, and all of our technology was derived by a otherworldly being, a mechanical angel of sorts, of which we still revere the carcass of. He is actually entombed within our grand hall for all to see. But few know that the statue that stands there or sits upon the throne there is actually an ancient and inactive, essentially God being.
That's pretty awesome.
Mechanical angel. He'll talk about how his family has ruled for millennia, even though it is not hereditary. We have, us Eisensteins have simply ruled through our own guile and leadership abilities. He will speak of the significance of the divination core, of the dangers Ori and her temperaments and his suspicions of her links to House Asshole, and yeah, it just he'll talk into the night basically. And after a while, after he sees that your curiosity is sated, he'll begin to ask you about your life and about the wonders of the world that you've seen and all that good stuff.
I would have a lot of like anecdotal stories, and some of them would be real mundane, like maybe about like daily life in like the first monastery I lived in before. Oh, what's her face? Or in like not the monastery, the cave that I lived in with the other dragonborn. And maybe little things like hunting and stuff like that. But then I might have a few other crazier adventures that almost sound a little too good to be true. Like maybe things I did when I was training under Frenet, but they're like unnecessarily epic.
Mm-hmm.
And that's probably the brandy, because Violet doesn't drink often, if at all.
Oh yeah, you would see you would see a wet grin on Malachi's face. His eyes are watery and thick with drink, and his voice is hoarse with smoke. But he chuckles and laughs and listens, all the while remembering his time in your mind and remembering the events as you recount them as they truly were. But he is a boaster extraordinaire himself, and so he finds it quite entertaining to listen to your boasts. And yeah, man, like once that's done, I'm gonna retire. Say it's a big day tomorrow. Take your rest.
I'll probably yeah, for sure. Tomorrow we celebrate your victory.
And to that, he'll raise his glass and take the final swallow of the evening.
Okay, now real quick, we started about 15 minutes later, so do y'all want to play the rest of the game or just do a quick, another little quick montage and just end it right now? Your call. What do you want to do?
I mean, it seems like we're about to finish here, right? With the next scene. The next scene's it, right?
I mean, I would say 2 more scenes, but the first one's not too much of a scene. It's more of just a talk and roll.
All right. I mean, I say go for it because,
Yeah, I'm down.
Okay. So what I need you to do is to describe how you would sell yourself in your final speech to the family. You're basically up on a huge podium, Caesar style, talking out to the masses. So describe that kind of speech. We'll do your roles for that. And then we'll have the last scene will be the actual election. You'll be the election night. How to go and do your confession speech if you're too sad.
Okay. Let me just get my portent.
Burn. Oh, damn.
That's my first portent roll, that natural 20. Just a second. Let me get my other 2.
Are you kidding me right now?
Nope. You know how good this speech is going to go, don't you?
You're getting a 6, right?
You're getting a 6. Yes. Yeah, boy. You know how this is going.
Okay.
All right. So it's going to be just a grand culmination of all, of my platform, unity, tradition, harmony, our house is, this family has served, for since time immemorial. This is, and then again, just hammering it home, my opponent does not possess the pedigree nor the temperament to lead us in this trying time, and all of the, and I will have undoubtedly, kept some little nuggets like from my spies, the tastiest bits, stuff that I could just completely blindside Ori with here in these final moments, and that'll be part of the natural 20 that I decided to roll during this final argument. just some real bombshells, you know, about that bring real question into and even like incriminate her.
I have that.
Perhaps.
Okay, here's what happens, dude. You know that Erdal Flint Mace chick that you were trying to get on your team?
Yeah.
She died last night, and but she was actually murdered, but you have no evidence. But you do have a note from her and a gift, an amulet that only will work for you. But what this amulet has allowed you to do is to call the Archon of Ambrosia to stand behind you during this speech. And only the leader of the house can summon an Archon. The thing that allowed you to do it in this instance was like the fact that she's your cousin. So like your item wouldn't work on any other Archon, but the fact that you were able to control one period was like enough proof. That's that 20, high 20. Everybody was like, well, shit, if he's already calling out Archons, that's the fucking man.
Yep.
And plus you
there it is.
So Ori's like on the run.
Yeah.
For Erdal's death.
Yeah, I bring it in, you know, Earl, who has served our house so well, is repaid in murder most foul. And all of that, you know, yeah. But before her untimely death, she bequeathed upon me a great honor. The amulet goes up, fucking the Archon pops up, the crowd goes wild, it's fucking And I look over just coldly at Ori. And I'm like, you are finished just with my eyes. And yeah, man, that's that.
Yeah, and your little bitch ass cousin Ephraim standing there with his elite golem soldiers that Ori was going to show as a display of her right to rule looks pretty bitch ass next to your fucking Archon.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I'll even like if I see that he's her ally, I will like you know bring doubt into his mind about like why would he want to serve this murderous wench, you know, like you would turn your back on your own blood, on your own house. The shame, you know, we know that you are blinded by your work and that it is not your fault. It was not your place to lead, and you've undoubtedly been seduced by Ori's machinations. But we will welcome you. I will welcome you.
He literally missed the whole thing because he was like on his clipboard.
Yeah. Just for the whole fucking, you know, I will honor you, cousin. You know, you will serve the family true. I will be your shepherd. I will say. Oh my God.
And the crowds go wild.
Yeah. Okay. So that's that 27 with the critical success at the final speech, and she's just gonna fucking suck a dick with a 6.
Yeah, I mean, she goes up there and gives this speech about how she's the one who should lead the fucking armies, and it doesn't go over at all, man. Nobody is buying that shit at all, like not even a little bit.
Yeah, so as she's saying that, right, like I like look over for like my magnum opus is like the honored general like stands up. But what's his name? I can't remember him, but he's my war hero guy, right? The warlock.
Yeah.
He like stands up as she's speaking and turns around and walks out of the room with his entire military retinue.
Nice. So like the fucking most elite real people force that you have fucking snap to and fucking march the fuck out.
Yeah. Yep. They do.
Super.
This bitch get torn up.
Okay. Legit.
All right, yeah.
All right, man. So we're basically I can't deny you the winning of this election with all these portents that you've spent on this, but I do want to do something a little different and flavorful. I don't know how it'll go over, but I want to give it a shot just for this one game. I want to insert like a tide change like mechanic. So what I want to do is for each of y'all, just tell me one flavorful or cool or awesome or beneficial, whatever you want to do, one outcome of the events of today's episode. It can be bad for you. It can be good for you. I don't care. Whatever you want to interject, and then I'll put it up into the Facebook groups, and we'll have people vote on it, and it'll become canon. One of them. So I know that's like kind of hard to put you on the spot, but you know, whatever you think will be cool, man. You know, this person did that. You know, this person found something. Whatever you want to do, man. Something happens here. Something happens there.
Man, what about some hard evidence that Ori was the murderer or the orchestrator? And she's got to fucking run, like book it, and that leaves another just little bit of extra void of power that Malachi can snatch in on. All her little followers are left leaderless because she's like completely thrown out, basically. You know what I mean?
Well, let me ask you this, man. Would you want her little followers to like become leaderless, or would you like her little followers to like straight turncoat on her ass and be like, "Oh, Malachi, no, we're with you, dog." I'm like, mark her out and just totally flip on her, and now they're like all Malachi team.
I mean, yeah, if they're already down to do that, cool. I was expecting there to be legwork, but like, yeah, if they're just appalled by her dishonorable behavior, then yeah, fuck them. Bring them in, unite the house.
I've been working the divination angle for a couple years now too, so I've made myself prominent within their school. So that would make sense. Are you looking for something that kind of hoses us a little bit, Archie? Is that what you're?
No, dude, it doesn't matter, dude. It can be anything, man. I found that if you pick something that will hose you, that's what people will vote for. So don't do it unless you expect it to happen. Like, unless you think it's such a cool flavor story nugget that like it just sounds awesome and you think it should happen, don't interject some bad shit because it'll probably fucking happen.
I don't want to, then.
Make it good, man. You know, a fucking gold tree falls down and you have a million gold trees in your fucking forest. I don't care, man. Whatever. Just make some shit up. Don't pick that. That's dumb. I'll fucking smack you in the face if you do that.
I am level 20.
Yeah, that's a smack in the face, bitch. Come on, that's gold trees. Get out of here.
Well, I mean, I just have all these ones that would hose us, and I don't want to say them because I don't want to get hosed.
Well, hey, man, if that's where your mind is at, if you feel like that's what the story needs, add it in, man.
Nah, I don't want to get hosed. I think you're going to hose us just fine by yourself.
I don't get to pick, man. The community gets to pick. It's community involvement.
Who's the community? Just the two of us?
No, well, they only get to pick between the two of you because the game was shy on folks. But no, I'm probably going to post it in Ab Tab and maybe the Brigade, but probably not the Brigade because shenanigans and fuck the Brigade.
Oh, why don't both of us do a positive and a negative? And then we get
nah. Let's keep it positive. If we're gonna be at the mercy of fucking Ab Tab, it better be two positive goddamn things.
Yeah, I told you they'll pick the bad one, right? You know they will.
I'll tell you what, I've been really hoping to meet some dwarves, like a large community of dwarves, if that gives you any ideas.
All right, well, yeah, I mean, man, I hate to be cheesy, but I'm going to stick with the positive because the negative ones are all really fucked up.
It's fine, dude. Pick whatever you want. It's all good.
How about all right, you want dwarves? You already kind of gave me yours by making the divination core love me. So I'll just say that yeah, let's do it like the long. What is the dwarven house in the game?
There's a bunch. Make one up, dude.
Like what's the great house? Is there a great house?
Oh, like a great family that is mostly dwarves. I'm sorry. Yeah, 1 sec. I got my list right here. Just give me 1 sec to pull that motherfucker up. It's up. I'm reading it. Let me scroll. I'm scrolling. Dude. House artists, I think. And Yeah, Artists and House Manus both have a lot of dwarfs, man. Artist probably has more.
What's their deal? What's their main thing?
They
What's their
make stuff.
theme?
They just make stuff. Like tables and
Their
chairs and
crafts.
shit. Like anything that anybody has anywhere, they probably fucking made if it's good.
They're craftsmen, beautiful craftsmen. All
Craftsmen.
right, yeah. During the transition in power, that new and fruitful relationship has been formed with between House Immortalum and House blah blah. I can't remember the name already. All right, artists, I
Okay.
guess. I don't
How-
know.
Do you have? I mean, that's cool. If you want to stick with that, we're straight. That's fine, just like that. But if you wanted to flavor it more, do you have any ideas on what type of relationship or like how that would play out? Or do you not care?
Man,
I can take care of it. But if you yeah.
I just can't do it, man.
Oh, you're
I
cool.
just can't.
Okay, I got you. That's what.
No. I can't do it. I gotta hose this, man. I gotta hose this, man.
You're gonna take a bad one. Cool.
Do it.
Take a bad one.
I gotta do it. All right. So instead of we're still gonna get dwarves in the mix, but so Ori gets run out of House Immortalum. She gets disgraced, but she had some allies in House Artists.
Oh no!
They have granted her asylum.
Oh, dude,
That's
that's amazing.
a good one.
Yeah, I couldn't do it, man. I was thinking like, all right, so these are my other ideas, right? Which was just like into such degrees of badness. Ori is exiled, but she steals the God of the Eye. Ori is exiled, but she kidnaps my cousin and steals the technology for our new war golems and she leaves. And then the third one, I was like, nah, Ori is exiled, but she finds an ally in another great house. Like, fucking A.
I actually like that a lot, dude. That's actually pretty legit. That's not necessarily bad, man.
No, but it's cool, and it does bring the dwarves into play because that means that we could go over there and interact with the dwarves, but it would be on a more of an antagonistic basis. It wouldn't be as friendly of a thing.
No,
Which
that's
then,
amazing.
we could make friends with them eventually, but and they both. You know what the weird thing about this is that both kind of both of our suggestions basically revolve around Ori being exiled. So either way, she'll get exiled, right? Which is good because we don't want to have to deal with her ass anymore.
Well, I mean, hey, if the first one gets okay. Thanks everybody for checking out the broadcast here. Thanks for checking out the game. Check us back out next Thursday when we'll get it crack-a-lacking again. We're gonna have a lot more stuff coming up on the channel, so check that out. Thanks to my players. Thanks to the community. Join the community. Play some games, etc. Peace out, YouTube.
I gotta pee.